A very good morning to you and welcome to Tollcross International Swimming Centre for day 2 of the Scottish National Open Swimming Championships. I'm Duncan McKinnell and I'm joined in the commentary box this morning by not only the voice of para swimming, indeed himself, it is Paul Noble. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Duncan.
It's going to be a great day today. I think we saw Scottish records from Scott Gibson yesterday. We saw there Sterling absolutely demolishing the relay records yesterday evening. We had para records as well. So fantastic day yesterday. We're looking for lots more today.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't here yesterday. I was tuning in on the live stream, so it was good to watch some of these records being broken from the comfort of my own home. I hope people will be enjoying more records broken today from the comfort of their own home. And here's the session plan for this morning. Heats all the way this morning, and we start off with 400 metres individual medley events, and some of the big names in this one as well, Duncan, aren't they?
Yep. So for the men, we've got Duncan Scott going, and do you treat this as a fun event for Duncan, the 400 IM? He sort of dabbles with it. He's the British record holder, so he's not to be sniffed at.
I know Commonwealth Games medalist as well, so of course he can turn his hand to anything, it seems like, Duncan, can't he?
Yeah, and then Katie Shanahan, we know how good 400 IM she is. She's going in the women's event. Gold medalist in the 200 IM. In fact, Duncan was as well. 100 backstroke follows that, so Scott Gibson was the one who broke that Scottish record not just once, but twice. He did it in the morning. Yeah, and he proved it again in the evening.
And on a 50 as well. He was miles ahead of the rest of the field, wasn't he? In the end, clear water between him and the rest of the field almost on that 50. And of course Kathleen Dawson as well on the 100 backstroke for women. Our Olympic champion, of course, in the relay. I say our, because I claim her as a Kirkcaldy born person like myself.
Okay. I thought you were talking British there, but we're getting more specific than that. 200 breaststroke after that. Eugene Cook, the Irishman, leads the field, but George Smith has been on great form. That's going to be a very interesting race, I think. It's going to be very, very tight between those. The Scots might struggle to get on the podium on there. They will be, of course, a Scottish champion will get on the podium, but in terms of the top three, it's going to be tough. But Cara Hanlon, she didn't swim in the finals yesterday, but she swam really well in the heats, and she'll be going again in the 200 breaststroke. Hopefully she'll be back, and there's not a problem there. Duncan Scott will be swimming again in his 200 freestyle, of course, part of the 4x2, and who can forget that Olympic final in Tokyo in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Duncan, one of the world's very best in the 200 freestyle, and got a couple of teammates not too far behind him as well in that 200 freestyle as well. Jack McMillan and Evan Jones.
Yeah, all some of the top 200 freestylers in Britain. And then for the women, Lucy Hope has been in great form so far this season. She'll be part of the team going to Japan in a month's time, and so she'll be going in the women's 200 freestyle along with her Sterling teammate Evie Davis. And then we've got the sprinters 50 fly. Gregor Swinney's just gone back to Glasgow, having had a little sojourn in Edinburgh, so it will be interesting to see what he can do. Of course, he represented Scotland in the Commonwealth Games in the fly. And then Lucy Grieve is another one who's been in great form for the women. And Kiana McInnes, who was very impressive, I thought, yesterday in the 200 butterfly. Had a real battle on her hands with Kira Schlossum, but came through strongly in the second half to take it. So she'll be going in the sprint event this time. Yasmin Perry and Kira Schlossum back again. So that's going to be a very competitive race, I think.
Scottish record in that one. It's not too far ahead of the time set entered by Lucy Grieve, so watch out for that one.
Finish off with relays, but we are ready to go with that 400 individual medley. You saw the lineup for the first heat, and they are just about ready to go now. So Taryn Murphy of Carnegie in lane 1, Kyle Connolly of City of Glasgow in 2, Luke Littler of Derwentside in 3, Marcus Blake of City of Glasgow in 4, Finlay Bruce of Perth City in 5, Daniel Hendry of City of Glasgow in 6, Luke Janssen of Warrender in 7, and Fraser Stewart goes for Incas in lane 8. The entry times here 5:11 up to 5:17. Of course, 8 lengths of the pool, 2 each for each of the strokes, starting with the butterfly, and a nice start from the Perth swimmer, Finlay Bruce, in lane 5, up by nearly a second after the first 50. So he's looking good.
Yeah, it's pretty much of a muchness in the early stages there. It's that red cap of the Perth swimmer, Finlay Bruce. A couple of youngsters in this one. How much we got? 4 14-year-olds in this one. So chance for the youngsters to impress. The entry times on 5:11 through to 5:17. So not much in it in terms of a 400. They come down to the end of this butterfly element of this 400 IM. It's pretty tight there. Fraser Stewart just getting the touch there in lane number 8. Finlay Bruce, well, registering 110 there, Duncan, for Finlay Bruce. Didn't look like he was back in 4th position.
Certainly doesn't look like he is now, because he is moving away again in the backstroke leg. Looking very strong indeed, Finlay. He was a winner recently up in Aberdeen at the Aberdeen Long Course Meet, and that's where he did his entry time of 5:11. So he'll be looking to maybe improve a little bit on that this morning. Certainly looks up for it, and so the scoreboard is certainly not telling lies there. Up by 2 seconds, Finlay now from Luke Little. It's great to have a good contingent of swimmers from the northeast of England. So Luke swimming for Derwentside, a great club from the northeast. So welcome to all of our listeners from the northeast of England. We're very pleased to have your swimmers here in Glasgow.
Yeah, we were just looking at the sprint lanes a little bit early on, and with a big contingent from City of Peterborough when we were looking at it there. Seem to have quite a big squad there. Are they the furthest south, do you think, have come up to these championships?
I think they might be.
Yeah.
2:26.86 then for Finlay.
Puzzler for you there. early on a Saturday morning, Duncan.
Yeah, way too early on a Saturday morning.
So Finlay's going very nicely. He's into the second half now. Breaststroke very often can sort the 400 metres individual medley out. Can anyone make a move?
Well, we've not mentioned Luke Littler, the Derwentsider, and he is certainly making a bit of a move there in the black cap in lane 3. So he's not far behind Finlay now. These two have broken clear of the others. They've got a 3-4-way battle for 3rd. So Finlay still has the lead by 1.5 seconds, halfway through the breaststroke. And you can see the intermediate splits there. So actually Finlay pacing there a second faster than Luke. But it does look like Luke is, well, making some ground. Also coming up in the other red cap, that's the Warrender swimmer, Luke Janssen. So he's having a good breaststroke there in lane 7. And he is certainly making a lot of ground now.
Yeah, just looking at the splits there for that previous 50, we saw Finlay Bruce go 45 point, Luke Janssen going 42 points. So that's where it's kind of coming through now. So Luke Janssen's really picked up the pace here, and he's going to lead them through into that final turn here. So it looks like it's going to be Luke Janssen and Luke Littler 1 and 2. So the two Lukes. Finlay Bruce in 3rd now. Can he respond? But well away there on the freestyle, looking very good. Very good turn into the stroke. Very fast there for Luke Janssen. And looks like he might have this one sewn up, Duncan.
Yeah, he's certainly going strongly. Too fast for our cameraman there for a moment, but he's caught up, no problem. So it is all for Luke then as they come up to the final turn. And you can see there he's got best part of a body length lead over Luke Littler. Finlay Bruce, the long-time leader, now in 3rd, a couple of seconds back. I don't think he's going to be able to get that back in this last length. So it's the battle of the Lukes down this last length. And it's very much looking like Luke Janssen, the Warrender swimmer from Edinburgh, is going to bring this one in. His entry time 5:16.80, 17-year-old. And he's going to be way inside that entry time. So great start to the morning for Luke. 5:09.64. He's got to be happy with that. 8 seconds inside his entry time. Well done, Luke Janssen.
That was a great second half, wasn't it?
He just came alive in the breaststroke.
Yeah.
Luke Littler inside his entry time as well, 5:12.44, and that was a recent entry time done at the Northeast Regionals, so well done Luke Littler. And Finley Bruce on 5:14 dead.
Well, he took it out, Finley Bruce, didn't he? Just paid for the pace a little bit in the closing stages of that one, but a good way to start there for that very first heat of the morning. There's the lineup for the second heat, and you'll see at the top Innes Gow from Geary in lane 0, Taylor Sinclair from Elgin in lane 1, Tyler Stewart from South Lanarkshire in 2, Guy Pelosi from City of Glasgow in 3, Finlay Nelson from Dumfries in centre lane, lane number 4, Oscar Churnside from Geary in lane number 5, Connor Aspinall from East Lothian in 6, Luke Garrity and Archie MacArthur, Inverclyde swimmers going 7 and 8, and Benjamin Beale, another Derwent-sider, goes in lane number 9. Youngest in the field, Benjamin Beale, 13 years of age. And the entry times here for all these swimmers, 5:03 for Finlay Nelson and 5:11 for Benjamin Beale. That's the range. And out fast though, Archie MacArthur in lane number 8, just about the 30-second mark on that first 50 butterflies. Being pushed though by lane number 4, Finlay Nelson going well, a Dumfries swimmer.
Yeah, great butterfly swimmer Finlay, particularly on the 50. Really good butterfly sprinter, and he's using the butterfly skills to give him the early lead now. He's up by a metre or so at the 100, 1:05.90. That's around 3 seconds faster than the first heat after the butterfly. Archie MacArthur in second, Guy Pelosi in third, but well, still a good number of swimmers, very much there or thereabouts. You can see the 5, if you like, going from the yellow lanes, and then in lane 8, Archie MacArthur very much with them as well. But it's the yellow cap now, Oscar Churnside. He was Scottish junior champion in the 800 free yesterday, so showing his versatility here. Geary on a real roll with the endurance events, so you certainly include 400 IM in that. And, you know, they're producing some great young open water swimmers, distance swimmers. And here you can see Oscar Churnside going really well in the individual medley.
Well, Hannah Miley, of course, famously from Geary. These Scottish Championships was the domain of Hannah Miley. I do remember her just, I think it was maybe, I can't remember now, 2018, 2019, certainly before the pandemic, when Hannah was competing in the Scottish Nationals, trying to count up how many Scottish titles that she'd won over the years. And I spoke to her, she didn't even know. She had to go back and count up the titles, because there was dozens of titles that she won. Of course, multiple events that she did over the years. And, well, best part of 20 years probably, Hannah Miley taking part. Maybe not quite that, but
certainly up to about 30, I think, yeah. So, well, when she started young, so yeah, it would have been probably more than 15 anyway. Anyway, Oscar Churnside. Well, now we're into the breaststroke. Let's see if he comes under any sort of pressure, because we did see the big change in the first heat in the breaststroke. Pushing on nicely in lane 2 is South Lanarkshire's Tyler Stewart. You can see there in the blue cap. It's really only these two now, and Oscar still has the lead. It'll be interesting to see the 50-metre splits here. So Oscar Churnside 44.4, but you can see Tyler there quite a bit faster.
Yeah, much faster. We saw that the previous heat. There was a 3-second gap there. There's a 3-second gap almost between the leading two this time. And it is Tyler Stewart who has been doing the chasing. Might just be taking up the running now ahead of Oscar Churnside. Pretty close battle for third position between 3 or 4 swimmers right across the pool. But the top 2 away and clear, I think. Duncan, Tyler Stewart taking up the running now.
Yep, so he has got the lead. He was a junior finalist in this pool in the Glasgow International in May. I was going to say last month, but of course it's July now. Happy 1st of July, everybody. 3:51, so 7 3/4 seconds faster than the previous heat at the 300 mark. Now let's see whether Oscar Churnside, so we know he's a strong distance freestyler, so he could come back here. You certainly wouldn't consider this over. It's certainly between the two of them. Nobody's going to get close. Lane 7, Luke Garrity in third place, another strong breaststroker, and used that breaststroke to get himself into third. But the race is getting tight at the final turn here, and it's Oscar who's got the lead back. And again, you can see the difference in their splits there. 32.5 for Oscar, 36.6 for Tyler. Can Tyler find something extra down this last length? It's not looking likely. It's that endurance skill and freestyle speed from Oscar Churnside that is getting the job done. So very often the one who's got the strongest breaststroke goes on to win it in the freestyle, but not this time. It's Oscar Churnside who's going to bring this one home. The North District Age Group champion wins Heat 2 in just on the 5 minutes, 5:00.07, 3 seconds inside his entry time. So they are ripping it up this morning. They're excellent times from our leaders. A PB for Tyler as well, 5:02.27, so he's in second, with Luke Garrity finishing third. There's the summary, 5:06.15 for Luke, and the youngster Benjamin Beale there, 5:07.84. That's a nice PB for the Derwent side swimmer.
Had a good second half of the race as well, the Derwent side swimmer, the youngster there, but at the front of the field, great freestyle from Oscar Churnside to take that one just on the 5 minute mark. He would have loved to have dipped under that, but he'll just have to save that for another day.
So the line up for heat number 3. We've got Owen Reid of Billingham in lane 0, Charlie Ward of Borough of Stockton in 1, Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow in 2, Jacob Wood of Elgin in 3, Orlando Deering of City of Peterborough in 4, then 2 from the University of Aberdeen, Calvin MacDonald in 5, Greg Hall in 6. And from along the road, Aberdeen ASC, Aidan Bruce in lane 7, South Ayrshires Lewis Gibson in 8, and Kian Lee from the City of Peterborough in lane 9. So debuts this morning for 2 of our City of Peterborough guests, along with a couple of others from the northeast. Owen Reid from Billingham, Charlie Ward from Borough of Stockton. Good start in lane 9, Kian Lee, 15-year-old. Entry times here range 4:55 up to 5:03.
Yeah, so looking for someone to dip under the 5 minute mark for first time in these heats. Heat number 3, and man in the outside lane, Kian Lee, 15-year-old, is going to be first to the wall, 1:04.16. And that's the fastest we've seen so far. Lewis Gibson in second, Jacob Wood in third position. Again, probably about 4 swimmers in a row across the pool here. Just challenging for that second position, but Kian Lee has got away pretty well in the first few strokes of this backstroke. Again, City of Peterborough swimmer, 15-year-old in lane number 9. His teammate is challenging for second position right in those 2 yellow lanes, the top of those 2 yellow marked lanes there in the centre of the pool. But it looks like first to the turn here is going to be Greg Hall. So he gets in ahead of the 2 Peterborough swimmers. They come to the 150 mark.
Yeah, it's pretty tight though, isn't it? 1:44.76 and less than 2 seconds between the top 4 as we come down towards halfway. Lane 4, Orlando Deering starting to make his move as well. He's looking pretty strong. He is another swimmer, had a good 800 yesterday, but still up there is Greg Hall. He is going to lead them through halfway, I think, from lane 6, up by a body length. We'll see again what happens in the breaststroke. The pace now has just dropped slightly below the pace from the previous heat. Orlando in lane 4 certainly looks up for this in the breaststroke, and beside him in lane 3 is Elgin's Jacob Wood. He's in the mix. Kian Lee, the early leader, still right there in the outside lane, lane 9 at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, Greg Hall looking pretty relaxed though. It's a nice technique on the breaststroke here for Greg Hall. Just stretching away. Nice, very long, kind of languid stroke for Greg Hall at the front there. And he is just making that advantage count there, 42.98. We'll have a look at the splits for the others. Yeah, good couple of seconds ahead of Orlando Deering and Kian Lee.
Lewis Gibson also had a fast first 50 on his breaststroke in lane 8, and you can see he is moving up now, has joined the group, vying for second, but yes, Greg Hall is off and away, it would look like here. The University of Aberdeen swimmer, National Age Group finalist, has made the final here last year, 10th place. I say here, it was up in Aberdeen last year, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's coming into this end of the breaststroke. Let's have a check of the splits here. 44.98. Again, Lewis Gibson just closed up very slightly, but he was the only one, I think, to have closed the gap on that leader of the leading few swimmers. And I'm not sure anyone's going to catch Greg Hall now. There's a couple of body lengths advantage over the rest of the field. Lewis Gibson trying to hold off the challenge from Kian Lee, two City of Peterborough swimmers. Orlando Deering in the lane number 4, also in the mix for second place here. But Greg Hall, Duncan, on this final turn, away and clear. 4:25, it's a big lead for him.
Yeah, a 34 there. Orlando Deering on a 33, but surely he's way too far back to challenge. So this has been a really well-controlled swim from the University of Aberdeen swimmer. He's been strong across the range of strokes from the backstroke onwards. Breaststroke was very impressive, freestyle equally so, and this is a good win for him. It's a mighty scrap going on for second as Greg Hall comes in. He is under the 5 minutes. Who's going to get second? And it looks like lane 4 just edging it. Orlando, no, in fact, Lewis Gibson. Tie. Can't believe I didn't spot that. So Lewis Gibson, Orlando Deering in together, 5:03.32. But it was Greg Hall getting under the 5 minute mark, 4:58.97 for him, right on his entry time. So I think he'll be pretty content with that. We'll see whether that gets him a second swim, gets him into at least the B final. I think it probably will, but of course we do still have 20 swimmers to come, unless there's an empty lane. In fact, there is an empty lane. So
right on cue.
This is heat number 4. So we've got Daniel Moyes of City of Peterborough in 0. Fraser Tetlow of Geary in 1, then 2 Derwentshire swimmers, Joshua Robinson in 2, Jay Manners in 3. Lane 4 is Angus Allison from Stirling University with his teammate Pierce Greening beside him in lane 5. Then we've got the empty lane, followed by Scott Fleming in South Lanarkshire, and also from South Lanarkshire, Thomas Traynor in lane 8. And completing the field is a second Geary swimmer, Kyle Mitchell.
Yeah, pretty close in the early stages here. Would expect Pierce Greening and Scott Fleming just ahead of Angus Allison as well in lane number 4. Like lane 4 and 5, Scott Fleming just splitting those two, 28.6. Of course, we're into the seeded heats now, so some of the fastest swimmers we're seeing, Angus Allison and Pierce Greening, certainly will look like they are going to challenge for the medals when they come to the final tonight. They've got to make it there first, of course, but they're going about it the right way so far this morning. Angus Allison with that lead, 101.20. So again, significantly faster than what we've seen in the previous heats, as you would expect. Pierce Greening in second and Scott Fleming in third place. And it's just about, they want to be at the head of this field, Duncan, won't they, just to ensure that place in the final tonight.
Yes, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt both of those two Stirling guys are going to be in the A final tonight. It's also a question about a lane, and just to test out where they are in these heats, you also need to get into the habit of swimming fast in the morning heats, because it won't always be easy to get into a final, and you've got to train yourself to swim hard in the morning. Angus Allison, 5th in the British Championships in April. Pierce was a B finalist in the British Championships, so you know some of your top IMers in the country are here and will be again in the next heat. And certainly the two Stirling swimmers side by side going with them. Scott Fleming, a 17-year-old, very talented 17-year-old from South Lanarkshire. So he will be looking to be up there as well. Not an event I see him do too often, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes here.
Well, he's behind the two Stirling swimmers at the minute. In fourth place, Jay Manners now trying to come through on the breaststroke. So Scott Fleming and Jay Manners having a little bit of a tussle there for third position, but the two Stirling guys, Angus Allison and Pierce Greening, way at the front of this field. Angus Allison very strong again on the breaststroke. Pierce Greening almost in unison there as they come to the wall, just half a second separating them. Didn't look like that much at the touch there, but Pierce Greening gets ahead of Angus Allison as they come down to the second half of this breaststroke. Jay Manners moving now cleanly into third place and will be trying to pose a little bit of a threat on the leading two here, Duncan.
Yes, he was also a B finalist in the British Championship, so he's not to be discounted. It makes him one of the top 16 swimmers, eight in each of the finals in Sheffield. So, yeah, one of the top IMers in the country, along with the two that are ahead of him. And is it going to be Angus Allison just with the touch this time? Yes, it is. 3:35.38, and I would think he will want to make sure that he gets the touch at the end of this. He's got maybe, what, half a metre now, and I'd be surprised if Pierce is able to come back at that. But let's just wait and see. Sometimes swimmers are content that they've done the work and then are prepared to let somebody else go past. But I can't see that happening with Angus this morning.
Yeah, he's keeping an eye on his teammate there. Wonder if he's going to be breathing away. Yeah, he's going to be breathing away, I think. Just wonder if he just changes breathing on that final 50, but he's going to be breathing away from Pierce Greening. He'll be aware of where he is. So these leading two just edging into the final here, ahead of Jay Manners. Angus Allison looks like he is going to keep this one. Although Pierce Greening now maybe trying to make a little bit of a burst here at the end, the last five. The bragging rights for the Stirling swimmers. It's going to go to Angus Allison, I think. He had it under control, he'll say that, winning by 3/100ths.
Yeah, that was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because you did feel that Angus was quite happy to just sort of ease his way in, and Pierce was having none of it. He said, right, well, let's make a race out of this. And Angus responded nicely, no, you're not getting past. And as you say, 300ths was the difference in the end. So good racing there, good performances from both the Stirling guys. With third place, Jay Manners, and fourth place, Scott Fleming, 4:44 and 4:49. So we'll just keep an eye on that. So fifth place there, 4:53. So if you're 4:53 or less in this final heat, you'll be in the open final.
There's quite a few entry times on this final heat under the 4:53. And a couple of missing lanes there. A few empty lanes actually, I think. Duncan, 3 empty lanes.
What's going on?
Yeah. We do have James Boddy in lane 0 from Gary. Ben McLaughlin goes from Gary in lane 0. And we've got to go down to, well, lane 5, I think. No Duncan Scott taking the start, which is unfortunate. Evan Jones, Stirling Uni, goes in 5. Rowan Kilcoyne from Limerick in 6. James Burnett Warrender in 7. Dara Horgan from Limerick in 8. And Nathan Campbell from Stirling Swim in lane number 9. So no Duncan Scott. And
yeah, I mean, he always does treat 400 IM as a sort of almost a bit of an optional event, and swim it sometimes not. And so obviously, he's got Japan coming up fairly soon. It'll be all geared to being in absolute peak condition for that. So obviously it's part of the plan. He'll have discussed it with his coach Steve Tigg and decide, well,
the
not
team
today.
The team must leave for Japan quite soon. They must have a pre-camp.
I'm sure they do, yes. I don't know the details of it, but I'm sure they will do.
Can't be too long.
No.
Because it must be, what is it?
End of the month.
20th or something it starts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be just 3 weeks' time that team is going to make their way out to Japan for the World Champs. And Evan Jones has had a couple of good seasons, last year especially. coming to the fore in the Commonwealth Games.
Yep, he was a European junior finalist in this event last year. He picked up second place in the Edinburgh International back in March, where he did his entry time of 4:24, so that would have been an unrested time in March. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do, because as well as the World Championships, we've got the inaugural Under-23 Championships going on in Dublin this summer. I'm pretty sure Evan's in that team. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is. So it certainly has burst through into the senior ranks in the last season or so.
Of course, that 4x200 team that swam in the Commonwealth Games, and you know, with Paris just round the corner and that big 4x200 team for the GB squad, well, you never know.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, isn't it? There's going to be a mighty battle for that team. And of course, you want that strength in depth, because you want to be able to rest your top swimmers in the heat. So it's a team effort to win a medal in the Olympics in the relays. But Evan Jones well clear here in lane 5. You can see the swimmers in lane 6 and 7 there. The Irishman Ronan Kilcoyne in 6, and in the red cap just behind him, Warrender's James Burnett. So they'll fancy their chances for a decent lane in the final with these empty lanes in this final heat. But Evan Jones will just keep tabs of his time against Angus Allison and Pierce Greening in the previous heat. I can tell you he was about 2.5 seconds faster at halfway. The two of them were 3:35 at the end of the breaststroke, so just keep a note of that time as we see Evan coming towards the 300 now. You can see only swimmer in your shot. It just shows what a big lead he's got. Let's see if, as he comes through to the toe, we could just see the arms there of Ronan Kilcoyne coming into view.
Yeah, Evan Jones there, 3:29, so we know he's a very strong freestyler as well, Evan Jones, and wow, what a lead he has got here. 3:29, second position is Ronan Kilcoyne, and 3:42, huge lead there for Evan Jones.
Yes, so he's certainly making a statement here. He's taking this pretty seriously, this heat swim, and that lead is only growing as he goes through his final turn. You can see there a 30.7 for his penultimate length. We'll get the times coming up for the second ones, but they're not going to be at 30.7 pace, I don't think. Here he comes through the halfway markers. So this has been almost like a lap of honour for Evan Jones here. He's so far clear. And this is a pretty impressive swim. He came into the meet on a 4:24, so not on that sort of pace here, but, well, you can't complain about 4:30 on a Saturday morning. Over 10 seconds faster than Angus and Pierce, so you would have to say he is now hot favourite for tonight. There's Ronan coming in, 4:47. So he'll be there. I said 4:53. If you're in the top 5 and under 4:53, you'll be okay. So certainly those top 3 will be fine. Nathan, we'll just have to wait and see, I think. 4:56 and Ben 4:57. They might make it. They'll certainly make it into the B final, if not the A. We should get the summary coming up any moment. So there is your heat result. Evan Jones dominant.
Yeah, great swim there at the front of the field, Evan Jones. And he takes that one. He'll be fastest in for the final, ahead of Angus Allison and Pierce Greening. We had that cat and mouse battle there in that previous heat, and just missing out was Ben McLaughlin in that final heat that we saw there.
Yeah, so Nathan Campbell taking that 10th spot, and Ben will lead the B final tonight. Of course, there might be withdrawals, you never know. So you never know.
This afternoon's races as well.
That's true. Nothing can be taken for granted.
Some of the slower entry times for this afternoon, but we've seen it before. People forcing their way into B finals. Not often the A finals, but now and again.
It has been done. Yeah, it certainly has been done, and maybe today. So it's the women now. You see the line up there for Heat 1 of the women's 400 IM. Again, we've got 5 heats. Again, we've got an empty lane. So the lineup is Olivia Caldwell, City of Glasgow, in lane 0. Ella Cunningham, also City of Glasgow, in 1. Jessica Ridley of Borough of Stockton in 2. Katie Lowe is in lane 3 for Glenrothes. Ava Ross, City of Glasgow, in 4. Empty lane in 5. Amber Hinton of Dumfries in 6. Hannah Anderson of Carnegie in 7. Evie Heslop of Borough of Stockton in lane 8. 5:39 to 5:42 the entry times here, so on paper anyway, this could be a very tight race.
And a couple of empty lanes as we've seen. We've seen a few this morning. So, not an easy way to start early on a Saturday on a 400 IM.
Tell us about your experience with 400 IMs in your para-swimming days, Paul.
Oh no, well it wasn't a para-swimming event internationally, so I didn't do it that often. Only a couple of times, thankfully.
I've heard that you've made a return to the water right recently.
Oh, that's right, yeah. 25 metres relay appearance.
This could be the start of a renaissance in your career.
I was good over the first 20. The last 5 were a bit of a problem, but yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think I said to you earlier, I felt like my arms were going around at 100 miles an hour. I looked at someone videoed it, and it looked a lot slower than that in reality. But you know, it's a start.
Yeah,
it was good. Good to get back in again.
So going through then, 1:16.81, lane 8, Evie Heslop, Borough of Stockton, 17-year-old. Range of ages 13 for her teammate Jessica Ridley, up to 18. The Billingham swimmer, oh no, in fact she's the one that's missing, so the 17-year-old Evie Heslop is the oldest in the field and leading the way.
It's almost an inverted spearhead almost. The centre lane struggling at the minute. The outside lanes are the ones setting the pace. And
so what's the terminology for an inverted spearhead?
I don't know.
A V,
Is
I
there such a
suppose.
thing? A V, yeah. Well, that would work.
Yeah. Evie Heslop then, showing no sign of giving this lead up. In fact, she's building on it, I would say, in the backstroke. From Hannah Anderson beside her, the Carnegie swimmer from Dunfermline. Another Fifer.
Yeah. I think Fife presence, actually. I was looking at the entries from yesterday and today as well. So a few of the 5 clubs represented. Always good to see. You're an East District man as well, Duncan. Be pleased to see the 5 teams and the teams from the East doing well.
Yeah.
Big presence from all over Scotland as well. Good the North swimmers. We were looking at the Midlands as well. We saw a few swimmers from Monifieth this morning in the warm-up.
And of course we saw some great swims from Evan Davidson yesterday, twice junior champion from Perth. Going nicely now. Up at the top of your screen is the Glaswegian, talking about different areas of Scotland. The home swimmer, Olivia Caldwell, is pushing on well up her at the top.
Yeah,
to get your specs on to see her there.
I was
way up at the top.
You just see that head bobbing up down there at the top of the picture there. Olivia Caldwell goes over 3:32.90 there. Just 0.3 of a second ahead of the other end of the pool.
So we called that this might be a tight race, and it's certainly looking that way. We've got different contenders coming through in the different strokes, and now making her move in lane 6 is Dumfries' Amber Hinton. So southwest of Scotland making their presence felt now. The Dumfries. What do they call them? It's just gone out of my mind now. The nickname for the Dumfries.
The Doonhamers.
Doonhamers, that's what I was looking for, yeah. Thank you very much.
Let's into this last couple of strokes of the breaststroke. We're into the freestyle now. Olivia Caldwell right up there at the top. Just leads Amber Hinton in the centre. And can anyone pull back here? Hannah, and in fact, Evie Cunningham is actually, was trying to make a move now. Just one lane down from Olivia Caldwell. And it does look like Caldwell has just got the edge here. And Amber Hinton.
This is a cracking swim from the outside lane here from Olivia. She did her entry time very recently here at the West District May meet, so just a month or so ago. Now we see lane 6 going through Amber Hinton. So she is certainly in the mix there, just half a second behind Olivia.
Yeah, one of the youngest in the field as well, Amber Hinton, 13 years of age.
Yeah, and Olivia only 14, so it's the youngsters prevailing here. And it's going to go all the way here. Must be pretty difficult when they're so far apart just to work out where they are. And I suppose it's just about head down and don't worry about the other person, just go for it. And that's what Olivia is doing, and she is going to take this one. Cracking swim from the outside lane. Let's see what her time is. 5:35.41, 7 seconds inside what was a pretty recent PB. So congratulations, Olivia. Fantastic stuff. Amber Hinton takes second, also on 5:35. So good swim from Amber as well. She is 5 seconds inside her entry time. And taking third, Ella Cunningham, 5:38.92. So good swims there. That's a 2-second improvement for Ella. So great stuff there on that first heat for the women.
Yeah, close race in the centre of the pool as well for the 4th, 5th and 6th positions. Here is heat number 2 now. Again, City of Glasgow represented right at the top there with those blue and white caps. Georgia Reid in lane 0, Gina Wren. In fact, no Georgia Reid, but Gina Wren goes in lane number 1 from City of Glasgow. Kelly McIntosh from Silver City goes in at lane number 2. Alicia Goodbrand from Mythan goes in 3. Belle Cameron, City of Peterborough in 4. Ellen Denny from Geary in 5. Jessica Powell from Elgin in 6. Ayla Cochran, City of Glasgow in 7. Melissa Menny from South Lanarkshire goes in lane number 8. And Josie Grimes from Warrender, that familiar red cap of Warrender, right down at the bottom in lane number 9. Again, entry times, Belle Cameron from City of Peterborough in lane number 4. And Ellen Denny, Geary are the fastest two, 5:24 and 5:26. But again, another City of Glasgow swimmer off to a good start. Gina Wren this time, another 14-year-old up at the top of the picture there in lane number 1. Entry time for Gina 5:36, but she's taken it to the faster entry time swimmers in the early stages here.
So 1:12.77 for Gina. That's 4 seconds faster than the 100 split from the previous heat. So good strong start from these 4 swimmers who are at the front here. Lane 5, Helen Denny. Lane 4, Belle Cameron. Lane 3, Alyssa Goodbrand, all in the hunt. Also trying to make a move and join that leading group. In lane 6 is the Elgin swimmer Jessica Powell. So got swimmers from the north here. Eithan, just north of Aberdeen. Geary, Inverurie-based Elgin on the Murray coast. All going well here. Ellen Denny is the Geary swimmer. So we saw that great swimmer from Oscar Churnside earlier on. And now it's Ellen Denny's turn to show Geary prowess.
Yeah, she's in the centre there, but Gina Wren is holding on very well. On the outside here, it looks like Belle Cameron still holding that very slender lead for 3rd, City of Peterborough swimmer. Belle Cameron's got to be some Scottish heritage there with a name like Belle Cameron, do you think?
Let us know. Can we claim her?
Gina Wren still leads in the outside lane. That the top of that pool's been a good hunting ground so far for the City of Glasgow.
Maybe that's the lane they train in up at there, because we saw Olivia in lane 0 earlier. Now in lane 1, Gina making the running. I think are they coming at her in the breaststroke? Let's see as we go through. And certainly Belle is making a bit of a move now in lane 4. She's moved past Ellen Denny and I think is going to be challenging Gina in this breaststroke. Bell was a finalist in the East of England Regional Championships, and she does have the lead now. 3:26.29. You see that 43.6 there, quite a bit faster than anybody else on that first 50 of the breaststroke. Those intermediate splits are so useful to just give us a guide as to how fast they're going, particularly in the 400 IM, where we go from stroke to stroke, and you just see those different strengths coming through, and that's certainly the case with Bell here. I mean, she was in the pack at 200 meters, but look at her now. She's around 5-6 meters clear of 4 swimmers. As we come up to the 300, it looks like she's got this one sorted.
Yeah, it certainly does. What a swim there on that breaststroke from Belle Cameron. Touching in 4:10, so that previous split there, 44 seconds. She's taken another 5 seconds out of the second place swimmer, who was Ellen Denny. In third place now, coming through, Jessica Powell. Gina Wren didn't much like the breaststroke, but she's still in there in the mix as they go on to the freestyle. She's already picked up a place. Gina Wren moving down into fourth position. Can she challenge for third? Don't think that anyone is going to challenge for first position here, though, because Belle Cameron away with that split of 37.89, and second place Ellen Denny, just 5/100ths faster than the leader. But it is going to be Belle Cameron, Duncan. She's controlled this in the second half.
Yep, so 5:24.6 is her entry time. Let's see if she can get inside that. I think she's going to be close to it. Maybe she can just get inside it. Ellen Denny has second place, but being pushed all the way by Jessica Powell. I think Gina Wren is probably just too far away from them. But here comes Belle into the wall and finishes in 5:26.16. So good, strong performance from the Peterborough swimmer. Look at that race for second. So close, but in the end it was Jessica Powell just edging past. You see that 36.0 she finished on there. Really fast finish from Jessica to snatch second from Ellen Denny. Gina Wren also finishing strongly, but finishes off in fourth place, 5:34.09. But that was 2.5 seconds inside her entry time, so she'll be happy enough with that, I'm sure. 5:26.16. Well, City of Peterborough's Belle Cameron. I love their caps. Cops.
Cops. City of Peterborough swimming, I take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to see them. They were Edinburgh International as well. Remember City of Peterborough?
Yeah, great programme from the East of England.
So our next heat is heat number 3. And again, we've got, I think, one empty lane, but we have Gemma Brown from Carnegie in lane 0. Cassie Wiper from South Lanarkshire in lane number 2. India Marshall goes for East Lothian in Cassie Wiper in 1, India Marshall in 2. That lane 0 always catches me out at the top. No one in 3. We have Isabel Fox, Derwentside, who goes in lane number 4. Alice Ward, Borough Stockton in 5. Georgia Dickey from Dumfries in 6. Leonie Young from Billingham in 7. Alice Cumming from City of Glasgow in 8, and Zara Innes from Carnegie in lane number 9. So 2 Carnegie swimmers this time with the 2 bookends on either side of the pool. But it does look like Georgia Dickey is off to a good start. Again, Dumfries swimmer. We saw Amber Hinton have a good swim a couple of heats ago from that very lane number 6. So Dumfries in pole position again. Alice Ward from Borough Stockton going well in lane number 5, but Georgia Dickey will take them through in just under the 110 mark, 109.69. Fastest I think we've seen so far at this stage. Duncan, we're not quite into the seeded heats yet. 2 more to come after this one. We'll see some of the faster swimmers. So again, as we said before, Duncan, if there are some spare lanes, if you're at the head of this particular heat, good chance at getting another swim tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and so there's all to play for here with this top 5, lanes 4 through to 8, all in the hunt here. Isabel Fox, Alice Ward, Georgia Dickey, Leonie Young, Alice Cumming, all pretty close. And of course, we've seen big breaststroke comebacks as well. So, you know, the others should not consider themselves out of it at this stage in proceedings. The white cap there in lane 5. Alice Ward this time, 16-year-old from the borough of Stockton. So she will know the swimmer next to Isabel Fox well, I'm sure. A local competition in the northeast, Northumberland and Durham. But it is Alice who is going to lead them through halfway. So the previous heat was 2:38 at this stage, so about 5 seconds faster, 2:33.53 for Alice. 2:34 for Isabel, 2:35 the second Alice Cumming in third place.
Yeah, it's good kind of head-to-head at the front now between those two yellow marked lanes, Alice Ward and Isabel Fox. And the other 3 or 4 swimmers closest to us as we look at it. Alice Cumming going along very nicely there, City of Glasgow swimmer. City of Glasgow performing very well in this 400 metres individual medley so far. Could be these 3. Kind of pool almost split into 2 halves really. One closest to us, and there's almost a private battle going on between the 3 swimmers at the top there.
Yeah, Alice Cumming is the one who is making the move in the breaststroke. She's really pushing on now. City of Glasgow swimmer. Actually entered on 5:21, but she went faster than that here at the Glasgow International. She did a 5:18, so we'll see what she can do here, whether she can replicate that 5:18. She was in the B final to swim that here in the Glasgow International, which was a great meet. I really enjoyed the Glasgow International, and having a great meet again here in Tollcross this weekend. So let's see who's going to get the touch. It is lane 4 now, Isabel Fox in the dark cap, 4:08.40, a couple of seconds faster than the previous heat. So they actually lost a second on the previous heat in that breaststroke, but going into the freestyle now, the 2 from the northeast of England are looking strong, led by Isabel.
That was a negative split she did on that 100 breaststroke there. Second 50 faster than the first 50, and that has propelled her into the lead. Alice Cumming was still in second place there. Alice Ward now trying to come back on the shoulder of Isabel Fox now. These 2 have had a good battle all the way down this 400 IM. Isabel Fox just leads by 11/100ths as they go over that final turn here. Alice Cumming not out of it by any means, but she's got about a second or so to pull up in this final 30 metres or so. It does look like Alice Ward might take this one though, just edging it ahead of Isabel Fox. They're really fighting hard here into the closing stages. It does look like Alice Ward though might have the edge, but Isabel Fox keeping her eye on the swimmer alongside her. They're coming in absolutely together here. What a finish this one will be, and it is. Isabel Fox will take it by 6/100ths of a second. Wow, she wanted that one, Duncan. She kept an eye on Alice Ward all the way to the finish there and just got the touch. 6/100ths of a second, just on the 5:20 mark.
Yeah, when you went through that final turn, you thought, well, Alice Ward's got the momentum. She's going to push and move through, but no, Isabel Fox was not going to let that happen. As I said, I'm sure they've swum against each other plenty of times in the northeast of England, so they'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and, well, boy, did they do battle there. Heat number 4 coming up. We've got 1 empty lane, it looks like. So the lineup is Morven Adams of Dundee City Aquatics in 0. Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson of Derwentside in lane 1. Emma Price of Borough of Stockton in lane 2. Mia Leach, City of Cambridge in 3. Ailsa MacDonald goes in lane 4 for the University of Edinburgh. 5 is Ola Adams of University of Aberdeen. Then we've got the empty lane, followed by Hannah O'Connor from Limerick in 7. Amy McLeod and Caris Mooney, both from City of Glasgow in lanes 8 and 9. Ailsa McDonald, silver in the 200 IM yesterday. Behind Katie Shanahan, who hopefully we'll see in the next heat. Just having a look and seeing whether she has come out, and she has, so it's looking good.
Great, these top stars here at the national championships, isn't it, Duncan?
Yep.
Duncan Scott, of course, saw him last night. Haven't seen him in the 400 individual medley. Still got the 200, of course. He's entered for this morning, so we may see him a little bit later on. So stay tuned, everyone. You may well see Duncan Scott in the water at these championships a little bit later on this morning. At the moment, though, Ailsa McDonald leads Emma Price on this, the penultimate 400 individual medley heat this morning. Orla Adams in third position. Orla Adams, again, a very experienced campaigner. Duncan's been around for a number of years. Almost, again, we mentioned Hannah Miley a little bit earlier on. Orla Adams and Hannah Miley. It's one for Geary many years.
Yeah, and then latterly at University of Aberdeen, both of them training there, and good for Orla Adams at age 28. She's still showing top quality performances. You can see there her in the white cap right there with the other two. Backstroke and probably particularly breaststroke, all the strengths, but Emma Price is the one who leads the way, the 15-year-old going in lane 2 for Borough of Stockton. They're having a morning. Going very nicely here. Emma Price entered 5:06.90, went slightly faster than that in the Sunderland meet in April, 5:06.50. So we're certainly looking for something in that range today. If not this morning, then tonight. And she's had a good backstroke leg there. Has opened up about 2-3 meters in the backstroke to go through in 2:25.19, 8 seconds faster than the previous heat. You would think that both Orla and Ailsa could well come back at her in the breaststroke. Both fine breaststrokers. Let's see whether they do.
Yeah, it looks like Orla Adams now kind of putting the pressure on, trying to challenge for that leading position. Emma Price still there, but maybe not for much longer as Orla Adams comes up to the 15-meter mark before she gets up to the end of this length here. Ailsa McDonald going along nicely now, maybe moving through into second position. Or maybe not, actually. Emma Price just holding on. Orla Adams will lead Emma Price. Ailsa McDonald in third, just a second or so behind. But you see from the splits there, the difference between Orla Adams and Emma Price and Ailsa McDonald splits there. So Orla Adams and Ailsa McDonald much faster on that breaststroke split than Emma Price, and you can see that in the water as well. Adams looks like she is going to lead them through, but again, Ailsa McDonald looking pretty good position here as they go into the freestyle.
Yes, I thought that maybe Ailsa was going to really attack in the second half of the breaststroke, but Orla is holding her off. A good body length back as we go into the freestyle. 3:52.28 and 3:53.02. So we'll see what happens here in the freestyle. I'm sure that Ailsa will continue her attack here, and we could see Emma Price coming back into contention here in the freestyle. But let's see. Still the white cap of Orla Adams leads the way, and she'll not want to give that up. She'll want a nice lane for the final. She's up by a good body length, and Ailsa McDonald is not making any impact on that. As we come to the final turn, it certainly looks like Orla Adams in control of this heat. Let's see what her split is. 35.2 against 35.5 for Ailsa and 35.3 for Emma. So much of a muchness, the three of them. But out of the turn there, Ailsa McDonald had a terrific turn, real power off the wall there. But, well, I thought she might use that as a platform to come through, but Orla is still holding up. The lead is a bit less than it was, but it's still a lead for Orla Adams. And I don't think she's going to be caught. I might just take that back because Ailsa now is right with her, and it's going to be on the touch like the last heat. Very, very close. And it's Ailsa who came through. Well, it certainly didn't look like 0.8 of a difference
Did it?
in the wall, but that's what the scoreboard's showing at the moment. 5:03.03 and 5. Well,
Ailsa certainly spotted that finish pretty well. Maybe
Yep.
Well,
so we have an adjusted time for all of their 5:03.32. Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, so quarter of a second in it in the end, but Ailsa McDonald left it late, but took the win. And so she claimed top spot in heat number 4. So 3 swimmers on 5:03s there. You would think all 3 of them are pretty secure for the A final tonight.
5:20 was 5th place there. So that's going to be the target for this final heat to come. So we do have Katie Shanahan taking the start here, so that's good to see. Emily Maxwell and Alice Forrest, they go in 0 and 1, both from Derwent side. Got a pair of swimmers from Stirling Swim, Coco Croxford and Susie McNair in 2 and 3. 2 from Stirling Uni, that's Katie Shanahan and Michaela Glenister, they go in 4 and 5. Amelia Kane from Ards goes in 6. 2 Zaras go in 7 and 8. Sarah Kravich, East Lothian, and Sarah Keegan from University of Aberdeen Performance, and Catherine Body from Geary goes in lane number 9. So Katie Shanahan, good to see her in the water in this 400 metres individual medley swim. A very good 200 metres individual medley, and of course Commonwealth Games medalist Katie Shanahan in this one. And this is one of our top events, would you say, Duncan? 200 backstroke, 400 IM. It's
strong
between the two, probably.
Yeah, 100 backstroke as well, which is very strong at. But yes, 400 IM probably is certainly right up there. She had a mighty battle with Freya Colbert in the British Championships. Freya just won that one, perhaps slightly surprisingly, but yeah, it was a great performance. And those two, I think, Freya Colbert and Katie Shannon, are going to be great GB partners in the years to come. Interesting. Keep your eye on the turns from Katie, because she was absolutely magnificent in her turns in the butterfly. She went into the halfway turn 5th and came out in the lead. Let's see what she does in the turn here on the middle of the backstroke. So she's going to come in, well, there or thereabouts with Amelia Kane in lane 6. Now let's just watch her as she comes out here. See that strong kicks. Well, good turns from both of them, but you can see there that KT probably picked up a good meter in the latter stages of that turn, just an extra length under the water. Also going very nicely is Susie McNair. She's a really promising youngster. She picked up some junior medals yesterday, and she is having a huge season this year, Susie McNair, and she is right in the mix. In fact, she's got the lead. Wow. After the backstroke, leading Katie Shanahan. That's a feather in your cap.
Yeah, McNair takes that one, 2:23.78.7 of a second. Katie Shanahan looking relaxed here in the first half of that one, and now beginning just to push it on a little here in the breaststroke. Well, Katie Shanahan really has gone out pretty strongly in these opening stages of the breaststroke here. Also coming back, Amelia Kane in lane number 6. We know Michaela Glenister will be strong at the end of this one. And the freestyler, distance freestyler, Michaela Glenister in lane number 5. She's right there in the mix for second position, but Katie Shanahan, look at that split, 40.77. That's made the difference, and that's made the difference for Amelia Kane as well to bring her through into second position. So these top 4 looking pretty safe for a place in the A final as they stand. The minor places, probably that battle, Alice Forrest and Coco Croxford, you can just see at the top of your screen there. That's for 5th and 6th position. But Shanahan swam this breaststroke leg very nicely indeed, Duncan.
Yeah, she did. It's almost as if she was going to take it fairly gently in the first half and then push on a bit in the second half. 3:47.41 is about 5 seconds faster than the previous heat, so she is, as you would expect, looking to dominate this 400 individual medley. She will be, I suspect, quite a bit faster tonight, but already she's got now 6 or 7 meters over Michaela Glenister, who swam a really nice 800 yesterday to take gold in that one. Very much distance freestyle specialist Michaela has done quite a lot of open water as well, although I don't think she's doing that this year. But also a strong 400 IMer, as you can see. So she's looking set for second with just on her toes Amelia Kane from Ards. It will be the top three, I think. I don't think Susie McNair will be able to catch Amelia, and no one's going to catch Katie Shanahan. Here you see her coming towards the camera. Nice, strong, but controlled stroke there, and she will bring it in. So I think there's certainly more to come from her tonight, but comes in 4:55.56. Just to put that in context, our entry time 4:36, so that really was a bit of a summer stroll for Katie. But even saying that, she was 7.5 seconds faster than anybody else, so you can't really complain that. On the other heats anyway, Michaela 4 seconds back on her, and Amelia 5:00. Susie, I'm sure, with a 5:03 will be into the A final. Alice Forrest might as well. I think she might just be there.
Yeah, I think quite a number of them will be in the A final in this one, Duncan. But because 5th place was 5:20 in that previous heat, so there's the result of that heat number 5. Let's see, possibly top 6 or 7 into that A final, possibly. Maybe not quite far as back as 7. So Katie Shanahan claiming that one. As we go to the summary, she will be right at the top ahead of Michaela Glenister. Yeah, it was a top 7 in there. 5:13 for Zarakovic.
Well done. And there's quite a gap there to 5:19. Emily Maxwell, who will lead the B final. Georgia Dickey will be first reserve. So, good 400 IMs. What have we learnt from that?
Wow. Katie Shanahan looking very good, looking very relaxed, I have to say. And Evan Jones looking great as well in the men's. So the two Scottish teammates from the Commonwealth Games last year will go into the final firm favourites. You can't see anyone challenging those two, you wouldn't have thought.
No, you wouldn't think so. Men's 100 backstroke now, and we got our first sightings of our para-swimmers.
Yeah, looks like we've got 3 swimmers taking the start here. Fiona in from South Lanarkshire, Sam Downey from East Lothian, and Declan Castles from South Lanarkshire. 3 youngsters, 2 16-year-olds, 1 17-year-old. Sam Downey is going to be the class of this field, though. Duncan, he swims in the S8 classification. Different classifications, of course, for the para swimmers, S1 to 10. Those swimmers with a physical impairment. We'll also see visually impaired swimmers as well, S11 to S13, and intellectually impaired swimmers, S14 classification. So, but Sam Downey, very much the class of this one. He made his GB debut last year at the World Championships.
So here's a trivia question for you. In his category S8, who is the Scottish record holder?
Well, I would guess Sean Fraser.
Well done, well done. 107.92. And Sam might not be far away from that. I suspect that Sean's record days might be numbered. And look at Sam go here, 15 to go, and he's the only one in shot here. So let's see whether he can get close to that 107.9. See the clock, so he's not going to get it this morning, but it's a good solid swim. 1:12.04.
Yeah, it's a good swim from Sam Downey. Said he's made his way into the GB team. We'll go to the World Championships a little bit later this month. Commonwealth Games as well for the East Lothian swimmer. So very much a rising star of GB para swimming.
Yeah, and of course we've got a home World Championships, Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester, just at the end of this month. Now we're into July. So I think the very last, I think it's the 31st of July it kicks off.
Tune into the live stream. Who will we be hearing?
Yes, well, I may well be there. For 7 days
it wouldn't be a Para Championships without you there, Paul.
More para swimmers to come, of course, in this 100 backstroke a little bit later on in the later heats. So, but the 3 swimmers there should qualify themselves for the final. I don't think there's going to be enough for a full final of para swimmers, but we will see the para-final a little bit later on tonight. So another chance for Sam Downey to try and have a tilt at that record from Sean Fraser. When was that then, Duncan? It must be a good age now. Was it 2010 or something like that, possibly?
I have not got that information to hand, but yeah, it must be around that time, I would think.
Sean Fraser was Paralympic medalist in Beijing in 2008 and also went to London 2012. So that was Sean's era.
So that puts it in context. There's the lineup for heat number 2. We've got Benji Jeffries, South Ayrshire in 0. Kyle Wong of City of Glasgow in 1. Second South Ayrshire swimmer, Lex Garrett, goes in lane 2. Nikolai Cisner, a storming youngster from City of Glasgow in 3. Fergus Curry of Mulgai and Bearsden in 4. Matthew McMillan of Incas in 5. David Lambon, City of Glasgow in 6. Vigo Savage of Bathgate in 7. Logan Jackson of University of Aberdeen in 8. And Richard Laws from Cooper in lane 9. And it is the youngster Nikolai Cisner. What a season he is having. He's just been immense in the National Age Group Championships up in Aberdeen in April. He was winning medals left, right and centre, including a gold in this event. So he is in lane 3, the 13-year-old, 1:03.56 entry time. And he is, I think, just going to lead Logan Jackson in. And she does in 1:03.55. So just nicks 100th off his entry time. So well done to Nikolai.
That's the way to do it. If that's a PB.
Yeah, little and often.
1/100th at a time.
Yeah, she did that 1:03.56 here in the Glasgow International and the junior final there, so it's a pretty recent PB. So he is continuing to prove pretty much every time he hits the water at the moment. Of course, he will find it harder as he gets older, and I'm sure that Danielle, his coach in City of Glasgow, will be keeping him very level-headed. But there's confirmation of that result. Logan Jackson in 2nd, Fergus Curry in 3rd.
So good start there at 1:03.55. That's the target for the next heat, heat number 3. Liam Kozinski of Monifieth, Kyle Mitchell from Geary was in lane number 1. Jensen Norris from Perth City into James Bartley from Stirling Uni in 3. Ethan Stewart and Jack Simpson from South Lanarkshire. Those 2 blue caps in the centre lanes. They go in 4 and 5. Robbie Boyd, the red cap of Warrender, goes in 6. Orlando Deering back in the water again. City of Peterborough in 7. Calvin MacDonald, University of Aberdeen Performance in 8. And Tom Armitage from Highland right down here in lane number 9. Good start though from Robbie Boyd. Seemed to get good reaction time off the blocks there, Robbie Boyd, with that red cap of Warrender. And he leads into this turn, 29.79 for Robbie Boyd. The only one under the 30-second mark. Ethan Stewart and James Bartley not too far behind.
Yeah, Robbie Boyd, East District Age Group champion, 5th in national age groups. And he's certainly looking the favourite for this one. Pushing on in lane 3 is Stirling University's James Bartley, and up at the top, Liam Gorczynski of Monifieth going well, but I think it's going to be the Warrender swimmer holding them up, although it's getting close at the end here. Let's just see whether he does. It will come in together. Liam nicks it. In fact, Robbie only 3rd in the end. Liam Gorczynski, 1:02.72. It's all about finishing.
Yeah.
Jensen a 10th behind. Another swimmer who's having a great season, Jensen Norris, and Robbie Boyd in 3rd.
Midland's taking it.
1-2, yeah.
Next heat is heat number 4. Murray Dixon from Stirling Swim goes in 0. Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphins, in 1. 2 from Derwent side go in 2 and 3, and that's Thomas Maskell and Lewis Maxwell. Zach Speakman for Stirling Uni next to his teammate Sam Pease. Lucas Brown from Elgin goes in 6. Josh Press from Stirling Uni in 7. Jack Doherty Simpson from Scotia in 8, and Robbie Thompson from Shetland goes in lane number 9. We talked about the southernmost. We've got the northernmost here, Robbie Thompson from Shetland.
Yeah, well, we've got Shetland and Lerwick, or separate club Lerwick as well. So they're both here at these championships. So great to have the Shetlanders here. Good start from Zach Speakman and his teammate Sam Pease, two Stirling University swimmers making their presence felt. This, of course, is the first of the cycle seeded. And now you've got narrow head, Paul.
Here we go. This is what we come to expect on these national championships. Yeah, it's the top swimmers in the centre here. Speakman and Pease looking like they are controlling this one. Of course, 3 of the cyclically seeded heats, so you can't take anything for granted. Top 3 might be good enough for a place in that A final, but you never know. A lot of fast swimmers to come. Speakman, though, looks like he's going to take this one. He is going to be in ahead of Sam Pease into the wall. Speakman takes it, Pease in second, and it is Lewis Maxwell in third position. So those 3 under the 1 minute mark. And Speakman clearly ahead, 56.91 for the Stirling Uni man.
Yeah, good solid swim there. Came into the meet on 55.5, so it's not far away from that. I think he'll be happy with that for the morning swim. Sam Pease likewise was within a second or so of his time. So 2 good swims there from the 2 from Stirling University. On to heat number 5. The lineup here, Jacob Wood of Elgin in 0. Owen Williamson of East Lothian in 1, with his teammate Callum Peebles beside him in lane 2. 3 is Conor Massey, University of Aberdeen. Scott Gibson, who was in that blinding form in the 50 yesterday, he goes in lane 4 for Edinburgh University. Jamie Ferguson beside him for University of Aberdeen. Limerick's Neddy Irwin in 6. Andrew Brodie, Aberdeen Dolphin in 7. Logan van der Merlen of Stirling Swim in 8. And Scott Mitchell from Glenrothes in lane 9. Nice to see a full pool here. It'll be very interesting to see how fast Scott Gibson goes here, because he was on electric form on the 50 yesterday. And he's certainly putting it out from the start. Right away, he is a body length up on the swimmers either side of him. Jamie Ferguson in 5, Conor Massey in 3, but Scott Gibson is pushing this hard all the way through into the turn. Let's see how he goes out of the turn, past the 5 meters, past 10 meters, right up about 12, 13 meters before he emerges. And look at him go here. Jamie Ferguson, Conor Massey behind him, but this is the Scott Gibson show. The University of Edinburgh swimmer really pushing it on now. 54.20 his entry time, and he's going to be not too far away from that, just maybe easing back at the end there. 55.61, but that was over a second faster than the previous heat. Looks impressive.
I almost half expected him to do a touch at the wall there at the halfway point to get a 50 split. He was going so fast. I thought he's gone for a 50 split here. You know, what was he, 24 point yesterday at the 50?
Yep.
He was only 25 point in that split there tonight, this morning, I should say.
Yeah, first Scott ever to go under 25 seconds yesterday, and he did it twice.
And Scottish record, of course, long-standing one, Gregor Tate, 54.22.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have that in his mind. Of course, another Edinburgh man. He was City of Edinburgh in those days, but Gregor Tate, now I think in Australia.
He was in Australia the last time I heard, yeah. That was probably a few years ago now, but yeah, great swimmer. Commonwealth champion, of course, Gregor Tate. And what was it, 200 backstroke and 200 IM, I think, Gregor Tate?
Melbourne, I think.
Yeah, 2006, so long-standing record, so that'd be a good one for Scott Gibson to try and claim, or anyone to try and claim that one. Here's the lineup for this one. Corey Philp in lane 0. Got 2 para swimmers next to him. That's Louis Lawler and Stephen Clegg. Watch out for them. They go in lane number 1 and 2. Jonathan Adam goes in lane number 4, Bath University. Jordan McPhail in 5 from Edinburgh University. Dean Fern from Aberdeen Dolphins in 6. Greer van der Meulen from Stirling Swim in 7. Ewan Beattie from Warren de Bass in 8. And Joseph Martin from Derwent Side in lane number 9. Well, Jonathan Adam, if anyone is going to challenge Scott Gibson, it could be Jonathan Adam. And he's gone out very fast, 26.56 there. And Dean Fern, another of these young swimmers, Dean Fern, the 15-year-old, in second place there in lane number 6, but no one's going to touch Jonathan Adam. Jonathan Adam into the wall now. We'll just check his time, 55.58. Oh, set up a good final tonight there.
300ths faster than Scott, so yeah, it's going to be a cracker. Dean Fern there, 57.48. That is less than half a second away from the Scottish junior record, so that was an impressive swim from the Aberdeen Dolphin. Well, watch out for that tonight. He has junior records already as a 15-year-old because he's got another year still as a junior. And Jordan McPhail there, 58. 101 for Stephen Clegg.
Yeah, on his way to the World Championships, of course, Stephen Clegg. He's going to just miss out on the A final there because there are your A finalists. Stephen Clegg will make it into the B final, as will his GB Paraswim teammate, Louis Lawler, just scraping in there in 20th position. Louis Lawler, World Championship finalist in Madeira last year, World Championships, the medalist back in 2019, the last time Para World Championships were held in Great Britain, in London, 2019.
Yep, so the way it will work tonight is they'll swim in the B final, but then they'll calculate their para points and compare that with the para points from the para final, which you would expect to be led by Sam Downey, and then whoever's got the highest points gets the medals.
That'll be an interesting one. I mean, Stephen, I think, will be the favourite for that one. Stephen Clegg will be the favourite for that one if he can get close to his time. But you've got 3 quality backstrokers there. Louis Lawler, Stephen Clegg, Sam Downey, all World Championship finalists. So, you know, embarrassment of riches for Scottish paraswimmers.
Yeah, which is great. Absolutely great to have. And, of course, different classifications. Stephen, sight impaired, physical impairment from Sam, and the intellectual impairment from Louis. So, yeah, nice to have them in, you know, represented at the top of the ranks in different classes. And we've got more paraswimmers here, Paul.
We have, yeah. Merrin Binney goes in at lane number 3, swims in the S6 classification. We have Emma Imrie and Katie Pake. They go in 4 and 5. Emma Imrie and Katie Pake both in the S10 class. We had some great tussles. I was down in Coventry a couple of weeks ago for the British Junior Championships. All of those 3 swimmers were there. And Katie Pake and Emma Imrie had some good battles, some good PB times that they did a couple of weeks ago in Coventry. It's a nice pool in Coventry. Got a relatively new pool there. Remember swimming back in the old days, the old 50-metre pool in the city centre, which was from the 50s, I think. So it was a nice facility to swim in a couple of weeks ago for these 2 swimmers. So Katie Pake and Emma Imrie, good friends, good rivals there. Katie Pake, 127.88. I think I can hear her mum in the crowd shouting, "Come on, Katie." And I think she might just hold off the challenge for Emma Imrie here. Let's see if they can get inside their times. Both entry times in 127. And I think they're both going to be inside. Yeah, a couple of 126s. Oh, Emma Imrie, 127. I thought she was just faster there. So the 2 S10 swimmers with the lesser impairment than Merrin Binney, into the wall. But Merrin Binney, again, one of the rising stars, swim IT swimmer, 14 years of age. And we saw her swim yesterday in the record-breaking form in the breaststroke, Merrin Binney. And again, she was another swimmer down in Coventry at the British Juniors a couple of weeks ago. Had a couple of very good performances. And she is coming in now. Entry time 2:06. And she finishes just shy of that in 2:07.54. So good swim from all 3 swimmers actually, but just Katie Pake just dipping under that entry time that she had of 127.
You see Emma Imrie, there's time was adjusted to 126.8 in fact in the end, so
was it?
she did get under the 127 as well.
Yeah, it did look like that, so that's good to see. So they will take their place in the para final tonight. Again, a couple of para swimmers to come. A couple of the visually impaired swimmers. First of them in this second heat, and that's Abby Kane, that outside lane in lane number 8.
Yep, the full lineup for heat number 2. We've got Emma Leggett of South Lanarkshire in 1, Faye Prosser from the Highlands in 2, Nadine Wilson from Borough of Stockton in 3, Libby Doubleday of Stirling University in 4, Alex Coy from Warrender in 5, Anna Kachenko, City of Glasgow in 6, Ailsa Clubb of Aberdeen Dolphin in 7, and Abby Kane, as you said, Paul, goes for Stirling University in lane 8, the S13 para swimmer. Another one who has represented Great Britain at the top level.
Yeah, Paralympic medalist Abby Kane back in 2016 as a 13-year-old, and Commonwealth Games representative for Scottish team last year, and also GB European Championship representative last year, Abby Kane. So she goes right close to us in lane number 8. Libby Doubleday was the fastest entry time, 109.58, but that was only 2 100s ahead of Alex Coy from Warrender. Goes in lane number 5. It looks like Nadine Wilson is the one. So it's not the 2 in the centre lane, it's the 2 lanes outside those centre lanes that lead them through, Nadine Wilson and Anna Kachenko. But not much in it at all. Possibly Nadine Wilson just stretching that one. Another good turn has taken her away from the field, but it's pretty close here. Maybe Ailsa Clubb trying to come back in lane number 7 as they come into the closing stages of this one. Might just be Nadine Wilson to hold off this one though. But Ailsa Clubb really finishing fast and might take it at the end. Oh, it is Ailsa Clubb just by 11 100s on the 110 range there. So 110 for the top 2 there.
Yeah, good race that one. Ailsa just nicking it from the Borough of Stockton swimmer, Nadine. Anna Kachenko, the Ukrainian based in Glasgow, takes 3rd spot. Line up for heat number 3. Susia Smith of first in 0. Millie Shaw goes for Billingham in lane 1. Madison Cool from University of Aberdeen, performance in 2. Tamara Schultz of Dumfries in 3. Mia McLeod, Swim IT in 4. Emma McGavin of South Lanarkshire in 5. Rosie Liston of City of Glasgow in 6. Maya Cheshire of Elgin in lane 7. Gemma Brown of Carnegie in 8. And Georgina Hawkins for Foldhouse Penguins in lane 9. 108s and 109s the entry times here. So again, it should be a close affair. Nice to have all 10 lanes occupied. So whistle goes and away they go. We'll see the reaction times there, 0.5s to 0.7s. Good start in lane 2, and that's Madison Cool. Raised in Bucky with that Bucky club, I think coached by her mother there, but has just recently now representing University of Aberdeen performance. And I think she's going to be first into the wall. It's pretty close, but it is Madison by a 10th, 33.65, pretty close in time to previous heat as well. 2 swimmers on 33.7s. Mia McLeod, just the leader of them from Emma McGavin, but they're all there, and I think they've moved past Madison now. Also pushing on is the Elgin swimmer, Maya Cheshire. So this is going to be a close one. 15 metres to go. And maybe it's lane 4, Mia McLeod, who's just edging it. But she needs to finish well just to make sure of it. And she does exactly that, finishing on a good long straight arm. 109.81 sets our first under the 110. Second was Madison Cool, 110.53, so she came back strongly at the end there, having been overtaken through the turn. But Emma McGavin just behind her, 110.56 in 3rd.
Yeah, it was a good finish there to take that one just under the 110 mark. And here is heat number 4 of the 6 heats. Kirsty Gilmore, South Lanarkshire in 0. Katie Rose from Warrender in 1. Catherine Renfrew per City in 2. Florence Tinsley from Stirling University in 3. Olivia Butler from Edinburgh University goes in lane number 4. Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 5. Kira Sterica from South Ayrshire in lane number 6. Ella Stevenson from City of Glasgow in 7. Roisin Ryan, para swimmer from Limerick in lane number 8. She goes next to Natalie Marshall from West Lothian, who's in lane number 9. So again, we're into the cyclically seeded heats. So Olivia Butler, Edinburgh University, fastest entry time in 1:03.50. So expect to see a little bit of an improvement on the times that we've seen from the previous heats. And it looks like it is Heidi Wren possibly going out to a good start here in lane number 5. Kira Sterica going well in the early stages as well. Roisin Ryan, the para swimmer, swims in the same class as Abby Kane in the S13 classification, visually impaired swimmer. And watch out for her time. She's at the back of the field at the minute. Right at the front, Olivia Butler leads them through that halfway point. Sterica, who was in second place, now dropped to third behind Heidi Wren. And also Florence Tilsley going well in lane number 3. But I think Olivia Butler might just have this one under control, trying to post the time, make her way into that A final if she wins this heat. She's in a good place to do that. 1:04.66 for her, so just about a second outside her entry time. Tilsley in second position as they come to the wall. In fact, tie for second place there, I think, almost. Oh no, 6/100 separating them. It was a tie on the scoreboard, but the times sorting themselves out there. Heidi Wren taking that one, just 6/100ths of a second ahead of Florence Tilsley.
Yeah, that was interesting because Olivia seemed quite slow off the start there, and she came out of the start probably in 5th or 6th place and then sort of gradually worked her way through to take the win. So the lineup now for heat number 5, we've got Amber Stevenson of South Ayrshire in 0, Zoe Crawford of First in 1, Alex McGill of Gateshead and Wickham in lane 2, Melissa Mainwaring of West Lothian in 3, Emily Grant, University of Aberdeen in 4, Lauren Bradley Holt of Stirling University in 5, Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen in 6, in fact, low lane 5, no Lauren Bradley Holt, but we do have Rebecca Reid in 6, Lucy Lucas in Edinburgh University in 7, Hayley Armstrong of East Lothian in 8, and Sav Bailey of Limerick in lane 9. So we saw 1:04.66 from Olivia Butler in the previous heat. So let's see how this heat compares. Good strong start from Alex McGill in lane 2, and now starting to push on is Emily Grant, another really experienced swimmer in the University of Aberdeen programme. And she is, I think, going to lead them through the halfway mark. Nice overhead shot of her pretty much there. 30.66 is half a second faster than the previous heat at the halfway mark, and Emily firmly in control here. Emily was a finalist here last year, finalist as well in the British Summer Championships last year, because we've got that coming up in Sheffield in a month or so's time as well. Lane 6 in second place, that's Rebecca Reid, another experienced swimmer from the northeast of Scotland. And they two are going to, I think they won 2, although pushing on now is Melissa Mainwaring. In fact, Melissa just nicked second place, but Emily, no doubt about her, that's exactly the same time as Olivia Butler in the previous heat, so that makes life a bit interesting. 1:04.66.
You had any swim-offs?
We did yesterday. We had one in the 50 backstroke yesterday. Yep. I think both of them will be comfortably in the final, so we don't need to worry about that.
No. You never know, further down.
Yep, you do never know. So Melissa Mainwaring, as I said, second place, just nicking ahead of Rebecca Reid. They haven't confirmed that result yet, so that's why you're not getting it on the board just yet. There's some chat going on. I'm not quite sure what it's about.
So the time for Lucy Lucas just changing there on the board, so it's probably just that confirmation of that time there.
Yep, so 109.22 in 6th place. You think probably that's B final territory. So looking there's 106 sort of territory around the cusp, maybe between the A and the B final, but we will soon see.
And here's the lineup for the final heat. Marie Wood from University of Aberdeen Performance, Millie Wells from Telford going in lane 1, Kiana Kurtzer from Warren de Baths, the youngster in this field. She goes in lane number 2, the 15-year-old. Amy Shields from City of Glasgow in 3. Kathleen Dawson from Stirling University goes in at lane number 4. Ella Shields from Edinburgh University in 5. Daniel Farrell from Limerick goes in lane number 6. Megan Donovan from City of Peterborough in 7. Bethany Firth from Ards, Paralympic swimmer. Not swimming in the para event, she goes in 8. Safrina Machin from City of Glasgow completes the lineup in lane number 9. And so Kathleen Dawson, good to see her back in the water. Had, of course, injury problems last year, causing her to miss out on some of the major championships after her heroics in Tokyo, taking the gold medal, of course, in that medley relay. It's good to see her back in. She looked in good form in the 50 backstroke yesterday, and she's a Scottish record holder in this one, looking like she is going to clearly finish ahead of the field. Showing her class here, Kathleen Dawson. Let's have a look at the time. 102.00 for Kathleen Dawson. And, well, it's hard to see past Kathleen Dawson in the final of this 100 backstroke, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure tonight she would love to duck under the minute. I don't think she's done that since she came back from injury, because she was doing that regularly before there's injury problems. The 58.08, that's the Scottish record, I think is also the European record. So it's, you know, she was right up there in 2020 and 2021. So great to see her sticking at it and trying to get back in order. So we saw those joint third places. Just missing out on the A final, Melissa Mainwaring there, 106.6 for her. And there's Bethy Firth, first reserve for the B final. So I wonder if she's regretting the fact that she didn't declare her para status, so that she would have been guaranteed a second swim. But, well, she'll have to hope for a withdrawal, and maybe there will be one. So you never know.
It's interesting that, you know, Adam Peaty's had a lot of publicity recently about going for the three-peat, his third Olympic gold medal in the 100 breaststroke. Bethany Firth's already won 3 in a row. At Paris next year, she's going for number 4 in the 100 backstroke.
Eat your heart out, Adam Peaty. Well done, Becky, for that, and certainly be very interesting to see what she can do. She's an absolute stalwart, hasn't she been, over the years in para circles. There's not many can touch her. On to 200 breaststroke now. 3 go in the first heat. Luke Scott of Dumfries, Lewis Brander of Montefieth, and Charlie Ward of Borough Stockton. 2 16-year-olds, and Charlie the 15-year-old. 2:42 and 2:43 the entry times, so could be pretty tight contest between the 3 of them.
Yeah, 200 breaststroke, 5 heats of this one. Promises to be quite a good contest as well in this 200 breaststroke. All the way through the heats, we've got some entry times very, very close, matched all the way through here. Some of the top guys will go close to that 2:10 mark, maybe just in the teens, possibly in the heats this morning. So good chance for some of these young swimmers, though. Again, we've got the swimmer in the middle, that cat from Montefieth, Lewis Brander. He's the fastest entry time in 2:42, and the 2 swimmers on either side of him in that V formation, as we're going to christen it now, Duncan.
Absolutely.
And that's everything to play for as they go through the halfway point.
1:19.17, so a couple of seconds. Doesn't look like well, actually, maybe it does look like a couple of seconds now. That was a very nice turn from Luke Scott. I've mentioned Dumfries a few times this morning, and certainly Luke is doing them proud. 2:43.6 his entry time, so for these early heats, it's very much about setting your target as to how you are going to do your swim and then what you want as the result from it. And Luke is certainly pushing on. And paper, he's the slowest of the three, but you wouldn't know that from what we're seeing in the pool. 2:03.58. You see there are 44.4, but Charlie Ward there are 42.4, so he's going to come back strong here, maybe.
Yeah, it does look good though, Luke Scott. You have to say, using those turns to great advantage. That's the last couple of turns we've seen them just come out with a big advantage over the others, and he certainly used those turns, and he's stretching away now. It's going to be a little bit of a tussle for second position, but there's no doubt about who is going to take that one. Is he going to dip under his entry time of 2:43.60? Not too far outside it. 2:45.13 for Luke Scott. And that close contest for second was won by Lewis Brander from Montefieth, just ahead of Charlie Ward. But yeah, some good skills there for Luke Scott, front of the field.
Yeah, it's nice to see those skills being executed in race conditions. Good tribute to the De Vries program there. Heat number 2, Carl Connolly, City of Glasgow in 0, Finlay Bennett of South Lanarkshire in 1, Luke Janssen, who we saw very impressive in the 400 IM, he goes in lane 2, Taylor Sinclair of Elgin in 3, Kekan Singh of City of Peterborough in 4, Tyler Stewart of South Lanarkshire in 5, Connor Christophorus, Aberdeen Dolphin in 6, Lewis Graham of Stirling University in 7, Rory Webster of Dumfries in 8, and Johnny Martin of Perth City in lane 9. Entry times here 2:38 up to 2:41. Yeah. Showing early on in lane 5, Tyler Stewart of South Lanarkshire. Beside him, the Dolphin, Connor Christophorus.
Dolphin. Is that his nickname? Is that his club?
That's his club.
Could be his nickname from now on.
And there might be a few from Aberdeen Dolphin vying for that nickname.
There was a para swimmer once called Helen Dolphin who used to compete. I thought it was quite inappropriate.
And did she have a good dolphin kick?
Well, I can't remember. Well, it looks like it is lane number 5 now. Tyler Stewart, we've seen him already this morning. Tyler Stewart in that 400 metres individual medley. And he's looking good as they come down towards the halfway point here. A couple of lanes across, Lewis Graham and Connor the Dolphin Christophorus in 3rd position. But Tyler Stewart looking good again. We saw he was good in the 400 IM. He's good again in this 200 breaststroke. He likes the tough events, I think.
Yeah, National Age Group finalist, and as you say, Paul, he's really pushing it on here. In 2nd place in lane 7, Lewis Graham, the Stirling University swimmer, so the more experienced 20-year-old. But I'm not sure he's going to get anywhere close to Tyler through the 150. South Lanarkshire over the years have produced so many strong swimmers. Because combination of a number of clubs, East Kilbride, Hamilton Baths, Lanark, Rutherglen. I'm sure there's others in that programme as well that don't quite come to mind at the moment. But it is Tyler, no doubt about he's going to take this one. It was 153.50 at the 150, so we're at a 39 there, so let's see what he can come back in here. 40 would be 2:33, which would be well inside his entry time, so well inside 2:34.16, so nice stuff from Tyler there. 4 seconds inside his entry time. Lewis Graham takes 2nd, 2:39.31, and Rory Webster, another good swim from Dumfries, 2:42.09 for Rory.
Yeah, good swim there from Tyler. Looked comfortable there as he went through. 2:34.16. And that's a decent target there for these early heats. Might be an outside shout of getting into a B final with that 2:34 there. Still quite a number of swimmers, still 30 swimmers to come due to take the start, so maybe a little bit of an outside shout for that one, but good improvement. That's what we like to see in these early heats. Third of the 5 heats now. Michael El Saifi from Billingham goes in lane 0. Ben Swan from Borough of Stockton goes in lane 1. Josh Martin, City of Peterborough in 2. Scott Quinn, para swimmer, the SB14 class. His birthday today from Edinburgh University. He goes in lane 3. William Ellington from Stirling Uni goes in 4. Isaac Hall, Borough of Stockton in 5. Joseph Martin, Derwentside in 6. Finlay Wallace, Aberdeen Dolphins in 7. Luca Hall from Borough of Stockton in 8. And Jacob Wood in lane number 9 from Elgin. It is Isaac Hall who leads them through, not too far ahead of William Ellington. So the swimmers in the centre lanes. Ellington with the fastest entry time, 2:15.62. Again, we're into the seeded heats now, Duncan.
We are indeed, and there's a good 5-way contest going on here, led by William Ellington. Scott Quinn is going very nicely in lane 3 on his birthday, 33 years young. Isaac Hall also up there. So is Finlay Wallace in lane 7. So it's Ellington leads through halfway, 1:09.30. That's about 5 seconds faster than the previous heat. So they turned in 1:14. So you can see a good number of those swimmers inside that time. But stretching it out now is William Ellington. William was a British Championship finalist, 6th place. Finalist as well in Glasgow International and at British Universities in Sheffield early in the year. So as quality breaststroker, also in the quality program at the University of Stirling, and he goes through 1:44.52. So looking very good here. That was a 35 split there. So his entry time 2:15.62. He's going to be pretty close to that, I think. Isaac Hall, Scott Quinn having a good contest for second. This is a good swim from Scott. He is pushing on here, looking to have a strong season this year after such an impressive breaststroke career over the many years now. But it's going to be William Ellington coming in to take the win in 2:22.16. So good, strong performance there. Scott Quinn nabs second there, 2:24.90. I think he should be pretty happy with that, right on his entry time. Only a second and a half away from his Scottish record. So, yeah, you never know tonight. He's certainly going to be, and a second swim probably in the A final based on that. Isaac Hall third, 2:25.95.
And that Scottish record for Scott Quinn will be a British record, I think, as well.
Sure, it will be, yeah.
That's a good swim from Scott Quinn. Good to see him back on form, but the quality of William Ellington showed out on that one. Great swim right at the front of that field for William Ellington. I think wish Scott Quinn a happy birthday, I think.
They were, yeah. Got a good cheer.
Check the records. Well, just the debate there about Scott Quinn's time. Where some of the para British records, just speak to Paul Wilson there, some of the para swimming British records are faster than the European records, because some of the British records were set in competitions that you weren't able to claim the international record. So Paul Wilson saying that's inside the European record for Scott Quinn. So not inside his British record, but he might be able to claim a European record for that one.
It's all way too complicated for me.
Nevertheless, it was a good swim.
It was a great swim, yeah. But let's move on to heat number 4, because they are through 50 metres now. And the lineup here is Gavin Roberts, another para swimmer. SB14 goes in lane 0. Jacob Duncan of Highland in 1. Jack Mitchell of University of Aberdeen in 2. And the front runners, Don Bissett, University of Stirling in 3. His teammate George Smith in 4. And Liam Davison, University in 5. Connor Mitchell goes for Warrender in 6. David Smith of Glenrothes in 7. Thomas Traynor of South Lanarkshire in 8, and Luke Garrity of Inverclyde in lane 9. George Smith is very impressive, but only in 3rd at the moment as Don Bissett leads them through. 1:08.89, a little bit faster than the previous heat. Don, another of these University of Stirling performers, finalist here in the Glasgow International, winner up in Aberdeen. And he is having a good old contest here now with George Smith in the white cap. George, British Championship bronze medalist, so you would fancy him probably in the final length here, just emerging into the lead at the 150, 143. Well, in fact, Liam Davis showing with the lead in lane 5, and it certainly looks to me like lane 4 has it now.
Yeah, I think it was lane 4 over first there. Liam Davis is close behind, but it does look like George Smith is going to take this one. Let's have a look at the time here as George Smith comes home. Stirling University swimmer with that entry time of 2:13. He's had a very good season, as you said, Duncan, and he is just going to be in 2:18.40, so nice swim there from him. He's followed home by Liam Davis, clear in 2nd place. Don Bissett off to a good start, and he claims 3rd position, 2:22.90 there.
Yeah, Conor Mitchell was the junior champion last night in the 100 breaststroke, so he's coming in there 4th, 2:28.55. He'll be hoping for a 2nd swim on that time.
Yeah, definitely a B final swim, you would say, on that 2:28. At the top 3, looking in good position to claim a place in that A final there. George Smith with a good finish to that one. Here's heat number 5 now, the final heat of this 200 breaststrokes. James Gordon for Perth City, Aidan Fothergill from Edinburgh University, Fraser Tetlow from Geary, Jay Manners back in the water again from Derwent side. Was in lane 3. We've got a trio of Edinburgh University swimmers in 4, 5 and 6. That's Yushan Cook, Ross Young, Emil Moravsky. Fraser McIntosh goes for South Lanarkshire in 7. Robson Miles, City of Glasgow in 8. And Kieran Hayes from Aberdeen goes in lane number 9. In fact, we're missing Robson Miles, I think. We're missing a swimmer in lane number 8, but we have 9 swimmers taking the start for this final heat. Ross Young out to a good start. Sean Cook and Moravsky in 2nd position. Jay Manners in 3rd place. So a lot of the 400 IMers returning here, Duncan, from another swim.
Yeah, and I think this 200 breaststroke is going to be a really competitive final tonight, because we've got some swimmers who are really well matched. And 2 of them there in the centre lanes, 2 Edinburgh boys. Ross Young, another British Championship finalist, and Eugene Cook, the Irish Championship bronze medalist, has been an important part of the Irish international scene for the last few years. At 1:06.24, and that is a fair bit faster than the previous 2 heats. So Ross Young really pushing it on here. He's just gradually getting better and better under the Chris Jones, Matt Trodden coaching leadership in Edinburgh University. It certainly seems to be thriving on it. In fact, it's an Edinburgh 1-2-3 at the moment, with Emil Moravsky in 3rd, and these 3 have got quite a lot of ground on everybody else through the 150. Ross Young in control, 1:41.26. That's 2.5 seconds faster than the split we saw in the previous heat. So surely this is Ross Young's race. He'll be claiming heat 4, lane 4, if he can push this on. He has to beat 2:18.40 that we saw from George Smith in the previous heat. I would expect him to do that. 2nd still Eugene Cook from Emil Moravsky. So they will be looking to increase the Edinburgh representation in tonight's final. But here comes Ross for the win, 2:18.35. In the end, just 500ths faster than George Smith in the previous heat. So maybe just, well, I think George definitely picked it up in that final 50, and Ross perhaps just content to, see that 37.0 for his last 50. So content to just maintain his pace down that final length. But Hussein picking up pace 35.7 to take second in 2:20. Well, Moravsky might just have to, well, he won't have to wait very long because we're about to find out.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be close actually, Moravsky, to make that final. There's a few swimmers, I think he might just make it in. He's top 3. Ross Young will certainly be in that A final. Cook also in that A final as well.
oh, we're not telling us the cheeky
I'm not gonna
monkeys.
get it.
But look it up on Meet Mobile. It'll all be there, the information that you want to know.
We give it the big build up, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have a look at that now, Duncan.
Yeah, well, we'll
on
try
your,
and find
on
out.
your system that's
Yeah.
just on your right hand side here.
Yeah, that last heat not quite processed yet, so which is probably why we weren't able to show it. Don't know whether there's been any query about it. I don't think there was. So let's move on to the women's 200 breaststroke. And we've got 9 swimmers going in the first heat, and they are Amelia Burrell of Glenrothes in 0, Zara Denson of Montefieth in 1, Honor McCarty of Inverclyde in 2, Isla Gill-Murray, Dundee City Aquatics in 3, Sarah Kay in lane 4 for South Aberdeenshire, Cara White of Ren 96 in 5, Ellen Denny of Geary in 6, Eden Fraser, University of Aberdeen in 7, Melissa Menny of South Lanarkshire in lane 8. You have some news?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's... Yeah, it looks like it might be 2:25.95, which was the 10th place, and that was Isaac Hall. So anyone inside 2:25.95, I think, might just have made that one. Although don't quote us on that. Make sure you look for the official results. As you said, Duncan, go on to Meet Mobile.
Yes,
because there are para swimmers in there as well, which complicates things really.
Yeah, so Scott Quinn on 2:24.90 will be in there. And so then I think we go to Jay Manners, probably picks up the last spot in the open final. We'll confirm that shortly.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the women's 200 breaststroke.
Let's do that. Amelia Burrell in lane number 1 from Glenrothes. He used to swim with her mum and her auntie. Or 2 aunties, actually. So it's good to see the family tradition keeping going for Amelia there, up there in lane number 0. But going well at the front of the field is, looks like Honor McCarty from Inverclyde, another one of the youngsters, another second of the 13-year-olds alongside Amelia Burrell. She's going well. Dundee City's Isla Gill-Murray in lane number 3. And also it looks like it might be lane number 7, Eden Fraser from University of Aberdeen Performance in that white cap. May well just edge it here as she comes into this final turn. Here's Eden Fraser with only a second, in fact, ahead of Honor McCarty. Isla Gill-Murray in 3rd position here. So all the entry times for these swimmers just under the 3-minute mark, so 2:56 was the fastest entry time. I wonder if that is going to be challenged. 3 swimmers at the top there. That is Burrell, McCarty and Gill-Murray now looking like they are going to have this one. They're going to fight this one out. Yeah. It does look like McCarty might just take this one. The youngster, the 13 years of age swimmer, and Gill-Murray coming back really strongly in the closing stages. Just as I said, the 13-year-old was stretching ahead. She was caught by Isla Gill-Murray. So the 15-year-old heads the 2 13-year-olds, and the 2 13-year-olds in 2nd and 3rd position in 2:57. I think the top 3 just inside their entry times there.
Well, Isla Gill-Murray, 2:56.97 entry time. What did she swim? 2:56.97. Well done, Isla.
A good way to start this 200 breaststroke for women. We got there eventually.
Heat number 2. Looks like everyone is there. Elizabeth Morgan of Highland in 0. Daisy McInnes of City of Glasgow in 1. Abby Thompson from Stirling University in 2. Ava Ross, City of Glasgow in 3. Holly Clifford goes in lane 4 for Marlins. Ailey Armstrong of East Lothian in 5. Gabriella Winton of Monifeith in 6. 7 is Amy McAlonan from Ren 96. Jessica Powell goes for Elgin in lane 8, and Madison Christophorus of Aberdeen Dolphin in lane 9. So most of the swimmers pretty close here as we come up to the 50 turn. Focusing there, lane 6 in the white cap. Gabriella Winton leads through by half a second, 39.36. Out of the turn, she has still maybe half a metre on the swimmers on her left-hand side. Holly is up there, Ailey is up there, and so is Ava. 3, 4 and 5. Also, don't discount the Elgin swimmer. I seem to have said that a few times this morning. Don't discount Elgin. Jessica Powell going nicely in lane 8.
Quite like these head-on shots that we're getting sometimes. So you just saw great technique. We saw Katie Shanahan, I think, earlier on. We had a great head-on shot at the end of the 400 metres individual medley. We just saw a great head-on shot there at the turn of that 200 breaststrokes. It's always good to see the technique from a different angle, and good to see the skills that these swimmers have. And it's a really close contest, this one, in this second heat of the 200 breaststroke. Ava Ross just maybe edging it now, possibly, but there's not much in it. And, well, you called it, Duncan. Don't discount Elgin, because Jessica Powell is coming through very strongly in the second half of this one.
Yeah, so is Ava Ross in lane 3. So there's plenty of swimmers still in the mix. Daisy McInnes not too far away up in lane 1. Who's going to turn first? I think it is, well, no, it's Gabriella. I thought it was going to be Jessica, but 2:09.50 by 400. It's Gabriella, a couple of seconds faster than the previous heat, and we've got a 4-way tussle down the final length here. So the black cap of Jessica Powell, the white cap of Gabriella Winton, and the 2 blue caps of Ava Ross and Daisy McInnes, both from City of Glasgow. But don't discount Elgin. Here comes Jessica Powell. You can see there on the left of your screen, really pushing it on. But she's got some work to do, because this is a storming final 50 from Daisy McInnes. And maybe Daisy is just going to nick this one. She is. Cracking swim down that last length. A 43.2 on her final 50 to absolutely nail it there. 2:54.72. Brilliant stuff from the City of Glasgow swimmer. Jessica Powell in the end has to take second. And third place, Ava Ross, 2:55.29. Jessica's time was 2:55.13. Again, they're just taking a little time to confirm that result, but now you've got it, and that is your 1, 2, 3.
I think there was a change in the positions there as well. I think Ava Ross's time just being amended there, so that's good. See her into the 2:55 range. But it was a good swim. Good second half of that one from Daisy McInnes to take that. So we are again swiftly moving into the cyclically seeded heats. So we have some of the fastest swimmers in this one. Cassie Wiper goes in at 0 from South Lanarkshire. In 1 from Aigdun, it's Alicia Goodbrand. Esme Hall from Borough Stockton goes in lane number 3. Ailey Robertson, South Ayrshire, in 3. Anna Morgan from Edinburgh University in 4. Anna Finlay from Derwentside in 5. Laura Kennett from Marlins in 6. Abby Whitfield from Derwentside in 7. Madeline Patterson, City of Glasgow in 8. And Veronica Mikulewska from City of Peterborough in lane number 9. Into the seeded heats, as I said, and faster swimmers in the centre lanes. Anna Morgan and Anna Finlay. Anna Morgan, I think, took the breaststroke yesterday.
She did, yeah. Very impressive 100 breaststroke swim yesterday. She's had a good season, Anna Morgan. She was a British Championship finalist in this event, 4th here in the Glasgow International. In the white cap beside her, very promising young 16-year-old from Derwentsside, Anna Finlay. She was also a British Championship finalist at 16, so real bright prospect for the future in breaststroke. So 1:14.83, 10 seconds faster than the previous heat at halfway for Anna Morgan, and then a couple of seconds back is Anna Finlay. So the two Annas lead the way here from Ailey Robertson, another very promising youngster, 16-year-old as well. Part of the Robertson clan. We'll see older sister Katie coming up in the next heat.
Yeah, almost rewritten the record books in breaststroke swimming all through the age groups, the Robertsons. For the years, Hannah Morgan leads them through, though, just a second or so ahead of Anna Finlay, although it looks like a little bit more now as she comes into the final 50 metres. There's clear water between the two Annas at the front of the field. Anna Finlay just increasing the pace there on that last 50. She caught up to Anna Morgan, but Anna Morgan now stretching away, showing her strength and really pushing hard on this final 50. And look at the distance she's put between herself and Anna Finlay. So Anna Morgan into the wall first. 37.97 for that final 50. And she took 4 seconds out of Anna Finlay there. Good contest for third. It is Ailey Robertson who wins that one in that time of 2:45.53. Lauren Kenna and Esme Hall and Abby Whitfield. Very close contest there between these three, just won by Lauren Kenna. But top three away and clear, and that was again very good stuff from Anna Morgan, that final 50.
Yeah, she is having a really good year, and so good to see that continuing. We'll be seeing her tonight, seeing if she can double up 100 and 200. She'll have a tussle on her hand to do that. And line up for heat number 4. Ava Kirkham goes for first in lane 0. Hayley Stewart of Warrender in 1, then 2 from Dundee, Emily McGee in lane 2 and Lucy Stoves in lane 3. Katie Robertson, we were talking about, goes in lane 4 for Edinburgh University with her teammate Alwyn Cook in lane 5. Belle Cameron, who we saw performing with distinction earlier on, goes in lane 6 for City of Peterborough. Freya Masson from Shetland in 7. Grace Hannock of East Lothian in 8. And Maya Cheshire of Elgin in lane 9. So again, it's Edinburgh University leading the way. Katie Robertson, there you see her coming in. Again, that over the top start, long stretching arms there through the turn. And you see her technique there under the water as she comes up at around 11-12 metres, about 1.5 metres ahead of her teammate. It is lovely seeing those overhead shots at that turn end, isn't it?
Yeah, very impressive, some of those swimmers. It's nice to look back on it. I'm sure the swimmers will be looking back at the live stream when they go back at lunchtime, maybe preparing for the final. Some of them will, certainly, maybe not all of them.
Just to hear our dulcet tones,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Exactly. What are they saying about me now, they'll be thinking. Yeah, it's great. I mean, the live stream's been a absolute revelation over the last decade or so since you started doing it, Duncan. Didn't have that luxury in the
dark ages.
In my day. have to take Polaroid pictures and do it.
Or you got the camera and have a black cloth over their heads.
That's right. But yeah, no, it's great to see. They do a good job, the live stream guys, and we're grateful for that. They make our job a little bit easier if they give us good pictures to talk about, and good graphics as well. And as you can see, Alwyn Cook has picked up the pace, and she has closed the gap to Katie Robertson at the front of that field. And it looks like Alwyn Cook is making her way into the finish ahead of Katie Robertson here. They should be clear and fine to make that A final. But again, the bragging rights looks like it's going to go to Alwyn Cook here. The two Edinburgh University swimmers are going to lead them through Dundee City Aquatics. Lucy Stowes looks like she's going to be third, but Alwyn Cook into the wall first, 2:36, a couple of seconds slower than that previous heat. Katie Robertson under the 2:40 mark, and Lucy Stowes 2:42.57 ahead of Belle Cameron. Another impressive swim there from Belle Cameron. She's had a busy morning. Looks like a decent breaststroke prospect, Belle Cameron, doesn't she?
Yes, it certainly does. So Alwyn Cook, sister of Eugene Cook, who we saw, both of them bronze medalists in the Irish Championships in 200 breaststroke. So the Cooks are very fine prospects for Ireland.
You can't have too many Cooks. Oh well, that's where she...
Ho, ho, ho. No broth here to spoil.
No.
So let's talk about heat number 5, move on from that awful joke. Sophie Portier goes in lane 0 for Warrender. Lane 1 is Jessica Schultz for Stirling University. Ella McGeorge goes for Cooper in lane 2. Eva Doyle of Limerick in 3. No lane 4, so no Cara Hanlon again. That's a little bit worrying. Lane 5, Orla Adams back after her 400 IM for University of Aberdeen. Amy McLeod, City Glasgow in 6. Leah Bullock of South Lanarkshire in 7. Katie Caldwell of Mulgown Bearsden in 8. Lauren Anderson of West Lothian in 9. So Cara Hanlon's okay. She's having an amazing season, but not here. Didn't swim in the 100 final last night, so we wish her all the best. But into the lead early on, it's Emma Doyle. So another Irish swimmer making an impact here, 35.72 for Emma at the 50. She was silver medalist in the Irish Summer Championships last year and swam here in these championships last year, was 6th. So she'll be looking to move up the rankings tonight. Behind her in lane 5 is Orla Adams, looking for another strong morning swim after her good 400 IM. And here we see Emma coming in with Ella McGeorge of Cooper and Jessica Schultz of University of Edinburgh. You can see in the black caps behind her. On 16.13, about half a second back on the previous heat and a second and a half back on Anna Morgan, who's now with the absence of Cara Hanlon. Perhaps Anna Morgan is looking like she's got a good prospect of doubling up the 100 and the 200. Well, there's a lot of racing to go before we get there.
Well, she certainly did look good in that heat. Anna Morgan, she looked like she had a little bit more to give, kind of ease back on the third 50 and really put the power on that fourth 50. Almost kind of experimenting with bits and pieces in that heat there, but these two will have designs on that title as well, I'm sure. Amy Doyle just has the lead there, 0.3 of a second ahead of Orla Adams, but Adams, again, as you can see from the splits, she has the momentum, 40.85 there. But Amy Doyle's come off that turn pretty well and holding off the challenge of Orla Adams. Amy Doyle's entry time, 2:36. Adams in a 2:32. And Amy Doyle looks like she might be taking this one. Orla Adams not got much of an answer in that final 50. So Amy Doyle is coming home just outside her entry time, 2:38.53. Orla Adams just on the 2:40 mark. And in third place, a close contest there. Jessica Schultz winning it by 7/100ths of a second. I wonder if that's going to be vital when they come to see who's in that A final.
Yeah,
they
could
might
well
both
be.
make it. Might just make it in there. 2:46 point. Ooh, it's going to be close, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is going to be very close, but we'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, Amy Doyle taking that one, 2:38.53. Nice swim there. Led all the way, and she's third into that final. Oh, and look at that. It was vital, wasn't it?
Yeah, by 700, Ella McGeorge has to settle for the B final, barring any withdrawals. But the good news is you get a second swim, so you can execute this sort of development from morning heats to evening finals and push on and
She'll be in that centre lane as well in the B final, which is sometimes a consolation prize, being in the centre lane. But you always want to be in the A final. You always want to be in with the big guns.
So it's 200 freestyle now. We just got 2 swimmers in the first heat. So off they go in the centre lanes. Callum Sinclair of West Lothian against Jack Milne, the S14 swimmer from University of Aberdeen. Entry time's 2:03 for Callum, 2:08 for Jack.
Yeah, Jack Milne and the intellectual impairment classification in the S14 classification. Another para swimmer will be coming up in a few heats' time. That's Louis Lawler from City of Glasgow, swims in the same classification. So we'll watch out for the time of Jack Milne. That is 14 class. Callum Sinclair has, in terms of entry times, has about a 5-second advantage over Jack Milne. So no surprise to see the gap extending itself here in the first half of this one. Callum Sinclair from West Lothian, 16-year-old, probably one of the youngest in this event, Duncan. There's not many younger than 16, maybe just one more, Orlando Deering, the 15-year-old, but not many youngsters taking part in this one.
No, most of them will be swimming this afternoon, the youngsters. Of course, some of them might just break through into another swim tonight. But Callum was a junior champion yesterday. I think that was in the 200 butterfly. I think probably butterfly is his main event. He's very strong 100 butterfly swimmer. But he's going nicely here in the freestyle. Let's see what his time is at 150, 132.77, so splitting in 32. So level pacing would be 205, entered on 203. So if he could just pick it up a little bit, he'll be there or thereabouts, because he has nobody with him. You always wonder when you've got these races where there's just the two of you and there's quite a long distance between them, what that feels like as a swimmer. I guess it just allows you to really focus on your own swim, not worry about who's around you. And nice acceleration into the wall, 2:04.07 for Callum, within a second of his entry time. So that was a good job from him. Jack coming in 2:11.91. He's around 3 seconds away, and so solid swim from the S14 swimmer. Of course, made the move from Dundee to Aberdeen in the last year or so. Seems to be doing nicely up there.
Yes, represented Dundee for a long time. He's been around for a while now. Jack Milne, just 22 years of age. I think he's been around for the best part of a decade, really. Jack Milne. He's a good individual medley swimmer, as well as that freestyle. Here's the second of the 6 heats. Callum Gold from Aberdeen Dolphin in lane number 1. Jacob Wood from Elgin in 2. Stuart Clark from Marlins in 3. Max Pelosi from City of Glasgow in 4. Ronan Kilcoyne from Limerick in 5. Orlando Deering, that was the youngster we were talking about, the 15-year-old from City of Peterborough in 6. Owen Williamson from East Lothian in 7. And leading them through the first 50, Torrin Libertage from South Aberdeenshire, 16-year-old in that outside lane. And it's almost a straight line across the pool, almost a diagonal line as they went through that first 50. Just the swimmer in lane number 1 upsetting the pattern, Callum Gold.
How dare he? He's going very nicely in lane 1. Let's see where he stands at the halfway mark. He's certainly up there in the mix. In 3rd place, just behind Orlando and Owen, 59.3 the time for Orlando, so it splits under the minute in this one, just over in the first heat. And certainly a race to be had here. Orlando Deering holding on to his lead, silver medalist in the East of England regionals and Cambridgeshire county champion. So he is certainly a prospect, but he's coming under pressure now. Ronan Kilcoyne, the Irishman, is coming at him in lane 5. 18-year-old from the Limerick National Centre, and he's having a good second half and really good through that turn. 2:02 was his entry time. Let's see if he can match that. I think he's going to be there or thereabouts. See there in lane 5 as they swim away from the camera. Now we see him coming in with more than a body length advantage, 2:02.01. So another one who exactly matches his entry time. Precision swimming from the Irishman.
Yeah, consistent stuff there from Kilcoyne, 2:02.01. It was Williamson in second, Liveridge in third position, and Deering was in fourth place as they go on to heat number 3. And there is the lineup for that third heat. James Gordon right at the top, the red cap of Perth City. A few red caps in this one. Billingham's Luke Gaughan in lane number 1. Albert Bangun, Stirling University in 2. Jonathan Venter, another Perth City swimmer, in lane number 3. James Burnett with the red cap of Warrender, he goes in lane 4. Lucas Brown from Elgin in lane number 5. Ben Kelly from Warrender in 6. Fergus Curry from Mulgai and Bearsden in 7. Andrew Brodie from Aberdeen Dolphin in 8. And Ben McLaughlin from Geary in lane number 9. And it is Ben Kelly, one of the red caps. 27.27 ahead of Andrew Brodie, Aberdeen Dolphin. And Kelly looking good. Lucas Brown just behind him in lane number 5. Another of the Elgin contingent coming to the fore.
Elgin. And also Andrew Brodie going nicely in lane 8. So he's in the mix there with the red caps of Ben Kelly and Jonathan Venter. 58.55, just 200ths in it between Ben and Andrew. Jonathan Venter just another 6-7 tenths back in lane 3. So it's this trio, and then in the centre lanes, James Burnett, Lucas Brown could challenge in the second half here. Not too far away, Luke Gaughan and Albert Bangun in lanes 1 and 2. But, well, Ben Kelly had a really strong start, and he's holding on to that lead through 150, but only by a bit more than a tenth, 130.15, about a second and a half faster than the previous heat. So let's see if Ben can hold this on. Needs to finish as he started, really strong. And so far, he's giving it a go, but don't forget Elgin. Here comes Lucas Brown in lane 5. Is he going to get there? I'm not sure he's going to. It's still Ben Kelly, but Lucas is right there with him now. Who's going to get the touch? Ooh, it's Lucas.
Lucas Brown gets it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
2:01.54. Takes it by 400ths.
Wow.
Left it late.
Finish.
But got there in the end. Well, again, we'll just wait to see if that is confirmed. Yes, it is. Jonathan Venter third. Great stuff.
Well, great race. We didn't discount him though, as a wise man said once. Never discount it.
Once every 5 minutes at the moment.
Wow, great race. Can we get a repeat of that one? We're into the cyclically seeded heats again, so some of the big names coming to the fore. Thomas Maskell from Derwentside right at the top there in lane 0. Max Upton from Billingham in 1. Dennis O'Brien from Limerick, first of the 2 Limerick swimmers. He goes in lane number 2. Arthur Logan from Edinburgh University goes in 3. Finn McGeever, the second swimmer from Limerick, goes in 4. Lewis Maxwell in lane number 5 for Derwentside. 2 from Edinburgh University in 6 and 7. That's Jude Lydiard and Igor Suvalov. Lydiard leads them through the 50. Joshua Robinson from Derwentside in 8, and Sidar Gullam from Warrender in lane number 9. So big names in this one. The fastest entry time, Finn McGeever, just under the 150 mark. Irish champion Finn McGeever, but leading them through the halfway point. He led them through the 50, leads them through the 100, and that's Jude Lydiard from Edinburgh University with Arthur Logan and Lewis Maxwell in close attendance. Finn McGeever not too far behind there in lane number 4. But you have to say, Lydiard looking good at this point. Duncan, look at this swim.
Yeah, and I thought they might come back at him on this third length, but not at all. He is pushing on very strongly here. He's still got around 2 to 3 meters of advantage through the final turn. A 28.9 is still faster than anybody else down that third length. So they've got it all to do in this last length if they're going to catch Jude. I can't see that happening, although Finn McGeever is pushing on, certainly clear of the others. He's going to take second, but I don't think he's going to catch Jude. The Edinburgh University man is going to take this one from lane number 6. He's up by about 1.5 meters as he comes into the wall in 1:54.36. A good strong swim from Jude, inside his entry time by about half a second. So to do that at that level of competition is very strong there in a morning heat swim. Finn McGeever second, 1:55.14, and Arthur Logan in third, 1:56.55. So third place, 1:56.55. Maybe just keep a note of that with 2 heats to come. Saw that Evan Jones 400 IM earlier. He's back again, Paul.
He is. Let's see what he can do. Oh, we have a spare lane here, though. We've got an empty lane. I think that's lane number 6, so no Thomas Carswell taking the start this one, but we have the others. We have Matthew Brown, University of Aberdeen Performance, Findlay Club from Aberdeen Dolphin, Rory McKinnon, City of Glasgow, Luke Hornsey, East Lothian in lane number 3. Evan Jones goes again. He goes in lane number 4, Stirling University. Cameron Travis in lane number 5 from University of Aberdeen Performance. No one in 6, but Liam McLaughlin, Edinburgh Uni in lane 7. John Taylor, University of Aberdeen Performance in lane number 8. And Louis Lawler, the para swimmer, back in the water again from City of Glasgow. He goes right down here in lane number 9. But again, the pool being almost split in 2 here. 5 swimmers stretching away from the others. It's almost as if that spare lane's kind of caused a barrier there, because 5 at the front of the field having a good old battle here, led by Luke Hornsey at the minute, Rory McKinnon in second, Club Jones, Travis. As they go into the second half here, got to expect that Jones is maybe going to pick up this pace here.
Yeah, of course, part of we said mentioned earlier, part of that 4x2 Scottish team in Birmingham last year, medalists there. So you'd expect him to come back a bit, but Luke Hornsey is a real freestyle talent from East Lothian, and he continues to lead the way with 50 to go, 1:25.78, about a second back on Jude Lydiard's time from the previous heat. But will Evan Jones come at him now? I think he will. Look at him come through in lane 4, so it's like flipping a switch there, but well, Luke Hornsey is fighting back here. I don't think he can quite live with Evan Jones's pace in the end, but it's a very solid swim from the East Lothian man. But Evan Jones does take it, 1:53.49. Luke Hornsey, I think, will be very pleased with the 1:53.65. That's inside his entry time. And Cameron Travis takes third, 1:55.61. That was a second faster than third place in the previous heat, so you would think he would be in decent shape for a final spot. But 2 1:53s there. In the end, a second faster than Jude Lydiard, both of them. So at the moment, with 1 heat to go, they are at the top of the tree.
And here is the lineup for this final heat. We didn't see Duncan Scott earlier in the 400 IM. We will see him in this 200 freestyle, though. He will take his place in lane number 4. Nathan Campbell from Stirling Swimming 0. Peter Allen from Stirling Uni in 1. Ian Rose from Bath University in 2. Brodie Gordon Gibson from Warrender in 3. Duncan Scott is in there in lane number 4. Scottish record holder in this event. Ed Mildred from Bath University in 5. Michael Flynn from City of Glasgow in 6. Adam Strickland, Derwent Side in 7. Callum Peebles, East Lothian in 8. And James Boddy from Geary in lane number 9. Well, Edward Mildred and Duncan Scott lead them through. Great to see Duncan Scott taking the start here. Of course, the accolades that Duncan Scott has amassed over the last few years. I think you and I remember him as kind of a, what would you describe him, a scrawny youth at the Commonwealth Games in 2014. We looked so much smaller than anyone else in that relay team that he won his first Commonwealth Games medal, but he's absolutely been one of the stars of world swimming over the last decade or so, hasn't he?
Yeah, Olympic silver medalist as well. Who will forget that mighty battle with Tom Dean in Tokyo? He, of course, then went on to beat Tom last year in Birmingham in the Commonwealth Games. Well, we'll see what he can do in Japan with 200 free, 200 IM, probably now his signature events. He's up by 6/10, 122.14. Ed Mildred, of course, is no slouch either. Member of the British Podium Potential Squad. And he is right there. Probably not a main event for Ed, the 200 freestyle, but he's sticking to the toes of Duncan as they come down towards the finish. Third place in lane 3 is Brodie Gordon-Gibson, who's having a great season. But it's Duncan Scott looking very relaxed there, but comfortably the fastest qualifier for tonight's final. Edward Mildred will be beside him as second fastest. He'll be in lane 5. And Brodie Gordon-Gibson there, 156.59. Again, very much on that 156 cusp. I think he'll be okay for a place in the A final. Peter Allen, I don't think will make it. He'll be in the B final, I would expect.
There was a few of them on that 156 points, wasn't it? 156.55 and 156.72. I wonder if they'll all make it in. Duncan Scott's in anyway, as is Ed Mildred. Oh, and all the 156 are in, I think, Duncan, just about. Yeah, 156, what was the cut-off point for that top 10, but Duncan Scott looking pretty good there. I said it's a difficult one, isn't it? Just 3 weeks out from the World Championships.
Yeah, one last prep swim, just I guess probably more focusing on little technique things rather than speed at this stage. It'd be about fine details, just tuning them up, ready for the big one in Japan.
And Duncan Scott's always been someone that's able to produce it on the big occasion as well, isn't it?
Yes, he has, and let's hope he can do that. Of course, got plenty of competition in British circles, and I can't wait for the 4x200 relay that in Japan. It's going to be very interesting. Of course, at the moment, probably Britain regarded as number 1 in that event. So on to the women now. 5 swimmers take us off in the first heat, and they are India Marshall for East Lothian in lane 2, Catherine Boddy of Geary in 3, Gemma Brown of Carnegie in 4, Veronica Mikolayevska of City of Peterborough in 5, Zoe Crawford of First in 6, and the para swimmer from South Ayrshire, Keris McCrindle, swimming S14 in lane 7. So the 5 able-bodied swimmers all pretty close. Keris will have to swim her own race here. 31.16. Zoe just leads the way. It's going to be a tight one, I think, between these swimmers. All entered in 2 minutes and 14s and 15s, and then Keris on 3 minutes 20. So she'll be just trying to match that. She's actually is she the only para swimmer in this one? Let's have a look. No, because Beth Firth is not swimming as a para swimmer, so I think she probably is. We're expecting to see Tegan Davidson, but she's not in this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty close contest at the front of the field here. Again, you wouldn't discount any of these 5 swimmers out of contention here. India Marshall's the one who's probably got the little bit of the advantage here. Catherine Boddy, Gemma Brown, Veronica Mikolayevska and Zoe Crawford all lining up here. If anyone is going to challenge that entry time, 2:14.60 was the fastest of those 5 swimmers. come back to Keris McCrindle in the closing stages of this one. She was around about a minute slower than the able-bodied swimmers, as we're seeing here coming to the finish here. India Marshall looks like she might take this one, the East Lothian swimmer. Entry time of 2:15. It's going to be very close for second position, but India Marshall is the one who's going to take this one. Let's see what kind of time she can get here. She's going to be inside that 2:15, not quite, 2:16.69, but still good enough to bring her home in front. And back to Keris McCrindle. Let's see what kind of time that Keris can register here. It goes over in 2:28 there for Keris McCrindle, 2:28.47. Swims in the S14 classification. Also swims in Down syndrome events, Keris McCrindle as well. So the Down Syndrome Association have their own events. I've been at a couple of Down syndrome major events with the European Championships and the World Championships back in the day. It was a fantastic event. And Keris, let's hope that she can get inside that entry time. We don't have the luxury of a running clock. We can tell where she is at the minute. 3:20 was the entry time for Keris, and in she comes in 3:20.46, bang on the entry time.
Yeah, good consistent swimming there from Keris, but it's India Marshall who takes heat number 1 in 2:16.59. On to heat number 2, all 10 lanes in use, with Gabriella Lessing of Ren 96 in lane 0. Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 1. Oh, I tell a lie, no swimmer in lane 2. Natalie Marshall goes in lane 3 for West Lothian. Ella Stevenson in 4 for City of Glasgow. Ella Smith of Borough of Stockton in lane 5. Orla McInnes of Hearts in 6. Stella McCarty of City of Glasgow in 7. Evie Mackey, South Lanarkshire in 8, and Grace Campbell of Portobello in lane 9. Ella Stevenson, I think, is going to lead them into the first turn, but not by much. 30.04, not by much at all, 500s from Orla McInnes. Ella Smith, who had a terrific 800 freestyle swim yesterday, turning in third, and well, certainly right up there. Got a nice turn, generated some real momentum there. Also with momentum is the youngster Evie Mackey, one of 2 14-year-olds. Ella Smith, the other one, in this heat. So it's a good tight contest. Lane 1 up there as well. Heidi Wren, the 16-year-old. In fact, she leads at halfway by 200s, 1:03.64. So who's going to come through strongest in the second half, Paul?
Well, still all to play for. I would say Ella Smith looking good in that middle lane there, lane number 5, the bottom of the 2 yellow marked lanes. She's been followed through now by Orla McInnes, 1 lane down from her. And also right at the bottom, Evie Mackey going along very nicely indeed in lane number 8, the South Lanarkshire swimmer. And there's that final turn. Ella Smith going over just ahead of Orla McInnes now, not much in it between the leading 2. I wonder if McInnes is going to time this one to perfection here. She comes alongside Ella Smith, the Borough of Stockton 14-year-old. It's now under threat on both sides here. Ella Stevenson, City of Glasgow, Orla McInnes from Hearts. It might be Orla McInnes maybe into the wall first here. Orla McInnes looks like she has timed this well, and she will come home to take the touch here in 2:11.12. What a good time that was. Good time for Ella Smith as well, 2:11.54. And also in the 2:11 range, Ella Stevenson, 2:11.68.
Yeah, good racing there from the 3 of them. All pushing strongly forward. That's Orla McInnes just getting the touch there. Judged that really nicely. On to heat number 3. We have Kiana Kurtzer of Warrender in 0, Anna Farr of Telford in 1, Mary Mischenko, University of Aberdeen in 2, Nicole Ritchie of Edinburgh University in 3, 4 is Megan Barnes of Mount Kelly College, 5 Danielle Farrell of Limerick, 6 Lauren Bradley Holt, she is here. She's been missing a number of her swims, but she's in this 200 freestyle. Phoebe Arbuckle of Warrender in lane 7. Amy Shields, City of Glasgow in 8. And Alice Forrest of Derwent in lane 9. So in the first of these cycle-seeded heats, it's Megan Barnes, the Mount Kelly swimmer, who leads the way. She's B finalist in the British Championships. Goes through in 28.61. Half a second up on the Italian based in Edinburgh, Nicole Ritchie. So she is looking strong as well in lane 3. B finalist in the Glasgow International and British Universities, and she's right on the shoulder of Megan Barnes. Going nicely in lane 9 is another youngster, Alice Forrest of Derwent side. She is in that scrap for third, along with Anna Farr and Mary Mischenko on the other side of the pool, but it's Nicole now with the lead going into length 3.
Yeah, they're pitching each other along, these two. It looks like a very good battle between the two of them at the front of the field here. Another good tussle for third place right down at the bottom. Evie Mackey and Grace Campbell going well. In fact, apologies, not them, it's Amy Shield and Anna Forrest in those outside lanes, but Nicole Ritchie and Megan Barnes are the ones who are leading them through here. It looks like it might be Nicole Ritchie with Megan just in close attendance here. Who's going to get the touch for this one? Megan Barnes entry time 2:01. Nicole Ritchie's entry time at 2:05. It looks like Megan Barnes is going to come to take this one from Mount Kelly in the closing stages. A very good swim from Nicole Ritchie for second place, and 2:04.92 against 2:05.63. An improvement of a couple of tenths of a second for Nicole Ritchie. It's Mischenko in second position there under the 2:10 mark. So the first of the seeded heats, Megan Barnes taking it in 2:04.92. So just 3 swimmers under the 2:10 mark, Duncan.
Yeah, it's great to see them racing in these morning heats as well, and that was a real race there between Megan and Nicole, and Megan just wanted to get that upper hand down that last 50, and that's exactly what she did. On to heat 4. We have Georgina Hawkins of Fauldhouse in 0, Catherine Renfrew of Perth City in 1, Emma Price from the Borough of Stockton in 2, Michaela Glenister of Stirling University in 3, Evie Davis of Stirling University in 4, Drew Mackenzie, City of Glasgow in 5, Rebecca Reid of Aberdeen in 6, and then 2 Stirling swimmers, Susie McNair and Cara Gordon in lanes 7 and 9. So Evie Davis, silver medalist in the 100 free yesterday, behind Lucy Hope, who we expect to see in the next heat. Michaela Glenister, the winner in the 800 yesterday by a convincing margin. I think this is our first sighting of Drew Mackenzie in these championships, so nice to see her in this one. But it is Evie Davis first through the first turn, but right up there with her is Michaela Glenister. 200 freestyle is really short distance for Michaela, so be interesting to see whether she has that sprinter's pace that we know Evie's got. It is, I think, just going to be Evie. Once again, no, in fact, it's the other way around. Michaela very tidy through the turn there, 1:01.63, and just popped up slightly ahead of Evie. Evie then closing it down again in the swim. Tying for third. Drew Mackenzie in the blue of Glasgow, just ahead of Rebecca Reid in the white of Aberdeen. So they are contending third and fourth. They're not that far behind the leaders here, but it's Evie and Michaela. They'll know each other well from their training, absolutely together, just 300ths in it as we come down into the final turn. They're not as fast as Megan and Nicole from the previous heat, but Michaela coming down with the advantage. Is somebody going to turn in the back end speed here to try and get past her? Well, it's not happening at the moment. Drew Mackenzie is pushing Evie Davis for second now, but Michaela still holding on to that lead, and she's not going to give that up now. So she takes it. Really solid swim. 2:06.24 for Michaela. very close to her entry time, and that's because she doesn't too often go down to the 200 freestyle, so I think she'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, another good swim from Michaela Glenister. Take that one, 2:06.24. Evie Davis in second position. Could not quite challenge in that last 50 there. And Drew McKenzie coming through for third place. So, interesting one as we move on to the final heat. Those top 3 or 4 might be safe from that previous heat. It all depends on this one. A couple of big names in this one as well. We have missing lane in the centre. I think that's Katie Shanahan not taking the start on this one. We saw her earlier on. Paige van der Westhuizen from Stirling Uni in 0. Florence Tilsley from Stirling Uni in lane number 1. Bethany Firth, we've seen her para swimmer back in the water, not swimming in the para events here. She goes in lane number 2. Elena Morgan and Lucy Hope, the 2 Stirling University swimmers in 3 and 4. No swimmer in 5. Mari Craig from Edinburgh Uni in 6. Kaylin Hall from University of Aberdeen Performance in 7. Ella Shields from Edinburgh University in 8. And Coco Croxford right down here in lane number 9. The 15-year-old from Stirling Swim. There's that head-on shot again. You see that yellow marked lanes of Lucy Hope on the left. And on the right of the shot, it is Elena Morgan, 2 Stirling University swimmers. We've seen Lucy Hope been in great form over the last few years. Almost a fixture now in the GB team, Duncan.
Yes, she is a very important part in the women's relay team and in the mixed relays as well. Lucy Hope has always been there or thereabouts, so consistent. She was 3rd in this event in the British Championships, set her up, I think, for a place in the women's relay team in Japan. Finalist in the Commonwealth Games last year. And she leads 1:34.57. Again, you think with these swimmers who are off to Japan, this will be the sort of final preparation stage. And certainly Lucy is looking like she is showing some really good form. She's swimming the best she has done for a long time this season. Good performances in Sheffield, some really good performances last weekend in Rome, and some good performances here as well. And 2:03.72 will give her lane 4 in tonight's final. Second, Mari Craig, 2:08.18. Nice swim from her. Third, just behind her, Elena Morgan, 2:08.40. I would expect those 3 certainly to be into the A final. Paige, 2:10. Not sure. And there's your answer. It's a B final for Paige, so it's Mary Mischenko who picks up the final spot in the A final. Amy Shields just outside it, also 2:10s. And Ella Stevenson will be first reserve for our finals.
It's close for that B final, isn't it? 2:10 to 2:11. There's not much in that at all, is there?
That's going to be a good race later on this evening.
Of course, chances for people to get into the finals this afternoon as well. We've still got a session this afternoon to come. Well, that's a tough ask to do a 2:10 to make that B final, isn't it?
Yeah.
2:10 to 11. And it's been a tough session for the swimmers this morning with all these distance events, but we've got the sprinters now.
Yep, 50 butterflies, always a good one. Just testing the starting equipment at the other end of the pool, and everything seems to be in order. Referee's whistle goes to the mouth and is blown, so we're ready to go with the first heat. The lineup here: Rory Webster in 0, Murray Dixon in 1, Archie Smith in 2, Swanee Talib in 3, Benji Jeffries in 4, Robson Miles is not there again in 5, Callum Sinclair in 6, Jensen Norris in 7, and Titus Pike in lane 8. The entry times here are all 26s and 27s, so it's going to be close. I think all of these heats are going to be pretty close. tight to call this one. The red cap Perth man, Jensen Norris, is up there, but I think it's lane 1, Murray Dixon of Stirling, who's going to take it. And he does, 26.85 for Murray. It's about 4/10 inside his entry time, so he'll be happy with that. Callum Sinclair, who we saw earlier on, right on his entry time in second, 27.08, just ahead of Jensen Norris, 27.11 in third place.
Yeah, so that's the target for these 10 swimmers. I think we might have everyone. Lucas Johnson from University of Aberdeen Performance, Adam Strickland, Derwent Side, Aidan Fothergill, Edinburgh University, 3 from Stirling University, Andrew Arthur, Cameron Craney and Albert Bangun. They go in at 3, 4 and 5. Gray van der Meulen goes in 6 from Stirling Swim. Oh, Lucas Brown in 7 from Elgin, Cedar Gulen and Ben Kelly from Warrender. Well, a bit of a gasp there as the swimmers go off for this second of these 50 metres butterfly heats. Albert Bangun got a good start there. Also going well is Andrew Arthur in lane number 3. It's an absolute blanket finish here, right at the top as well. Lucas Johnson going well, and it's Cedar Gulen who takes it right down at the bottom. Not much to choose between any of the swimmers there. 26.79 there. Cameron Creaney 26.86 and Lucas Johnson 27.00. Not much in that at all.
Yep, nice swim from Cedar just to nick that one. As we move on to heat 3, first of our cycle seeded heats, we've got, let's just see who's there. Mark Innes is there in 0, Josh Mitchell in 1, Bruno Kempster in 2. 3 is Tom Bealey, the winner of the 200 yesterday. Tom Carswell in 4, Brogan Hyde in 5, Rory McKinnon 6, Ben Chuyen in 7, Finlay Nelson in 8, Finlay Clubb in lane 9, 24.3 up to 26.2 the entry times here. So focus, you would think, on the centre lanes. Tom Carswell, 4th in the British Championships, would be the favourite, and he does have the edge in lane 4, but beside him is Brogan Hyde. So these two pretty close here, but it's going to be the Welshman Tom Carswell taking the win, 24.33. That is identical to his entry time, so congratulations there, an excellent heat swim. Second place, Brogan Hyde, 24.88, and third, Josh Mitchell, 25.37. Just a little delay in calling that result, so I'll just see if there's anything, maybe again an adjusted time required, or it's not had any DQs this morning. I don't want to tempt fate, so I'll wash that out of my mouth.
It's amazing how many tied times we've had. I think is that the 3rd or the 4th we've had?
Yeah, I think so. Oh
we
dear.
have a DQ, I think.
Wash my mouth out. We do have a DQ.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it's lane 0. Mark Innes falls foul of that one, but it says Tom Carswell taking the win in 24.33.
So Scott Gibson goes in this one. Oh, he's in good sprint speed. What can he do over the butterfly? Ross Leslie in 1, Peter Allen in 2, Brodie Gordon Gibson in 3, Jamie Robertson in 4, Dean Fern, youngster, 15-year-old in 5, Scottish junior record holder Dean Fern, Luke Shaw in 6, Archie Goodburn 7, Brogan McAviney in 8, and Ryan Ferguson in lane number 9. Oh, Dean Fern, Scottish junior record 24.46. Goes in lane number 5, the bottom of those 2 yellow marked lanes. What a good start there for Ross Leslie in lane number 1. Can he hold on to this one? Dean Fern right in the mix as well. Also coming through is possibly Archie Goodburn, and it is Archie Goodburn, 25.04, who takes that one just on the touch ahead of Dean Fern, 3/100ths of a second, and Luke Shaw in 3rd place with Jamie Robertson and Ross Leslie not too far behind again. Again, small margins here, but Archie Goodburn takes it 3/100ths ahead of the youngster Dean Fern, who's only at half a second outside his own Scottish junior record.
Yeah, that was interesting from Archie. We think of him as a breaststroker nowadays, but certainly as an age group swimmer, he was an excellent butterfly swimmer, and that was a 3/10 improvement on his entry time for Archie. So I wonder if he wants to just go back and add the butterfly to his array of skills. certainly looked good there. Now we've got the Scottish record holder coming up among others here. The lineup: Josh Press, Callum Rose, Salvador Gordo, Kieran Lennox, Gregor Swinney, Ben Carr, Tom Robertson, David Cumberledge, Adam Ritchie and Lewis Birrell. So Gregor Swinney in lane 4 swam this for Scotland in the Commonwealth Games, semi-finalist. 5th in the British Championship, set the Scottish record in Sheffield in April. But pushing on in lane 7 is David Cumberledge, who won the freestyle yesterday, but Swinney just edges past him in the end, 24.81. But it's going to be Carswell at the moment anyway. It looks like he will be the fastest qualifier.
Yeah, quite a big margin actually on a 50, half a second almost there. Gregor Swinney and Brogan Hyde in 2nd and 3rd position, but Carswell will be the man to challenge, I think, and it was under 25 and a half to qualify for that A final, and under 26 I think by the looks of things for the B final as we go through. But yeah, Scottish record holder Gregor Swinney safely into that final. The junior record holder as well, Dean Fern, safely into that final. Be on for something
Wouldn't it be great if they both improved on those record times? You can do it, guys. So on to the women now. There's the lineup for the first of 5 heats. Kirsty Gilmore, Georgia Dickey, Safrina Machin, Nadine Wilson and Lucy Lucas. They all look to be there. Just a little pause before we get them off, so they have to wait patiently. This sort of nervy time when they really want to get onto the blocks and on with it, but they've got to wait patiently until everybody's ready. Looks like the referee's making his way up now, so he's got the whistle to his mouth, so we're good to go. Entry times for these swimmers all in 30.3 to 30.6, so there's not going to be a lot in this, I don't think. Away they go. Very close in the reaction times and out of the dive. It looks like it's Lucy Lucas closest to us who's got the advantage. Mainly think of her as a backstroker, but she's going well on this sprint butterfly. Can she hold on to this lead? It's certainly looking like she can at the moment. Oh, maybe not. They are coming at her now, led by Safrina Machin in lane 4. In fact, they're all in a line now. Is it going to be Safrina? I think it was, and indeed it was. 30.92 against 31.02 for Lucy, who led for most of that, but just pipped at the post. Kirsty Gilmore taking third, 31.23.
Yeah, some good times there. Just close to the entry times. Wonder if anyone can dip under the 30-second mark on this one. Katie Simpson, Gabriella Lessing, Zara Kravich, Alice Cumming, Katie Rose, Marie Wood, Maya Reynard, Krista Wilson, Catherine Boddy and Morven Adams. That's the lineup for this one. Great reaction from Katie Rose there. Look at that, 0.52 for her. That's got her off to a good start. Marie Wood was good underwater though, next to her in lane number 5, and Marie Wood looking very good with that white cap in the centre right at the top. Katie Simpson having a good swim here. Katie Simpson might be the one who is going to lead them home. Katie Simpson in lane 0. Is she going to get the touch? Oh no, it's Krista Wilson who gets it just at the death of that 50 butterfly, dipping under the 30-second mark. Krista Wilson will take it. Burrow Stockton with Katie Simpson in 2nd, just ahead of Zara Kravich. Look at the distance between these swimmers there. 30.04, 08, 11, 13, 20. Very tight indeed.
Yep, small margins. So we're into the cycle seeded heats now. Heat number 3. Line up Orla McInnes, Amber Stevenson, Kiana Kurtzer, Faith Yuda, Yasmin Perry. Looks like we've got an empty lane. In fact, no Yasmin Perry. Kathleen Dawson doing the butterfly here. And Stella McCarty, Melissa Mainwaring, Isabel Wood and Ailsa Clubb No swimmer in lane 8 either. No Isabel Wood. So this opens it up with no swimmer in lane 4. Kathleen Dawson, because we saw in the backstroke not so long ago in the black cap in lane 5. Looks like she's got the edge over Stella McCarty. Certainly not an event we see Kathleen doing too often, but she's no slouch at it. Look at that, 28:33. So pretty close to her entry time. Stella McCarty second, also under the 29, and Faith Yuda third, 29:33.
Wow, good swim there from Kathleen Dawson. As I said, don't often see her over the butterfly, but good swim there. Can anyone challenge that time in this fourth heat? Eve Mayer, Natalie Marshall, Amy Hutchison, Becky Watson, Kiana McInnes, Drew McKenzie, Abigail Stemp, Andrea Cox, Zoe Crawford, and Evie O'Halloran Hutchison. That's the lineup for this one. Kiana McInnes, fastest entry time, 26.86. Scottish record held by Sian Harkin at 26.75. So there's 2 or 3 swimmers looking at that mark, that 50-metre Scottish record mark. Kiana McInnes is going to come home in front here, well ahead of the rest of the field in 27.96 for Kiana McInnes. That was a clear victory over Abigail Stemp in second place and Andrea Cox in third. Those two under the 29-second mark, so put them in a good position for an A final position tonight, but no doubt about who dominated that one. That was Kiana McInnes.
Yeah, Kiana looked really good yesterday in the 200 fly, but showing that she got that speed there in the 50. Part of the team that's going off to Dublin for the under-23 championships in the summer. So she'll be looking for a big meet there. And, well, this person that's in lane 4 in this one, Lucy Greaves, the lineup here. Alexandra Miller, Kirsty Breakin, Alice Mackey, Helen Stoddart, Lucy Grieve, Kira Schlossen, Yasmin Hamelane, Katie Goodburn, Emily Maxwell and Megan Donovan. Certainly you'd fancy Lucy Grieve on this one, real butterfly speedster. But going very well is Yasmin Hamelane in lane 6, or lane 7 rather. Katie Goodburn it is, but lane 5 now, Kira Schlossen. And it's Kira, the silver medalist in the 200 fly, who takes that one in a really good time, 27.44. So she'll have lane 4 tonight. Looking very strong indeed there. Entered 27.2, so she was very close to that. British Championship finalist. Lucy Grieve is 28.02 in second. Katie Goodburn third. It's going to be a good final, this one.
Yeah, some good performances there. Kira Schlossen looking very good. Kiana McInnes looking good as well. It's another good racing prospect tonight. Under the 30-second mark to make the B final. Under 29.8 to make the B final.
Yeah, Becky Watson, 29.04. Missed it by 1/100th of a second. How cruel is that?
Wow. It's going to be another good final for us to look forward to tonight. We have a final event. I think we are on, Duncan?
We are. It's gone like a flash.
Yes. What time are we? Nearly at 12 o'clock.
I'm hearing there might be a swim off to come though, so a little bonus. But we'll just wait for confirmation about that. But we've got 6 teams going in the first of 3 heats in the 4x100 freestyle mixed relay. The third heat will be swum tonight. So we've got 2 heats for you this morning. You can see there the swimmers for the first of them. The lineup will be Inverclyde B team in lane 2. Glenroth is in 3. Geary in lane 4. Swim IT in 5. Cooper's B team. Great that Cooper can put out 2 teams. Well done to them. And Billingham in lane 7.
So mixed relay as well. It's kind of opened the door to a lot of the smaller teams who might not have had like 4 men or 4 women to take part in the team. So it's kind of opened it up a little bit, these mixed relays, hasn't it?
Yes, it certainly has. Billingham off to a fantastic start in lane 7. Their entry time was much slower than everybody else's, 4:53, but I'm wondering whether that was a very slow time. I suspect they're going to be a lot faster than that in the water. They lead by nearly a second from Geary in lane 4, so it's Luke Cohen leading off for Billingham. For Geary, it's Fraser Tetlow. Behind them in lane 3, Glenrothes lead-off swimmer is Ashton Kerridge. Of course, things can change depending on where you swim your swimmers. Usually it's 2 men and then 2 women in the 4x100 free mixed relay. We'll see whether they all do that. Not all of them are. There's quite a few women going in the second leg, including Millie Shaw for Billingham leading the way. So 55.80 for the first 100 for Billingham, a lead of 2.5 seconds. But here comes Geary with Kyle Mitchell, and here where you have the woman against the man gives a temporary advantage anyway to Geary. Of course, that means that Billingham will still have a man up their sleeve for later on. Also pushing on in lane 3 is Karen Chapman for Glenrothes. So they're the leading 3, Paul.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. It's almost all women going, I think, on this third leg here. So it should be pretty even. But, of course, some teams will have women on the last leg and some will have men as well. So a very good swim at the moment. Geary now taking up the running. Geary are going to lead them home. Glenrothes in that second position, I think, as they're going to come to this turn. But Billingham in lane number 7 will be a threat possibly later on here. It is Geary. We will lead now. They go in that third leg for Geary. Glenrothes just about a second or so, a couple of seconds behind. But it's all the women on this third leg. And who is going to be able to hold this lead to give the final swimmers a little bit of a chance? A couple of the teams, I think 3 of the teams, Duncan, will have men on that final leg. So they might have a little bit of an advantage here, but Geary lead them into the wall with Glenrothes in second position. And well, it's going to be very, very close here between these 2 teams. Can they get enough of a distance ahead of the likes of Billingham to hold off the challenge on this final leg? I think maybe Billingham are going to be pretty much the favourites here, because Glenrothes and Geary have got the 2 females on the final leg, whereas Billingham have got a male swimmer. Geary and Glenrothes fighting it out here as they come to the final changeover.
So Geary's Isla Reid hands over to Katie Ray. It's Ailey McNichol taking over from Amelia Burrell for Glenrothes, but Billingham have Owen Reid coming in after a very good leg from Maisie Mack. So with 100 to go, you would fancy Billingham for this one now. They have moved into the lead now with Owen Reid. Certainly these 3 teams well clear of everybody else, so looks like the 1, 2, 3. There'll be a more of an even contest for second place, with Katie Ray looking to hold off Ailey McNichol. Geary versus Glenrothes, but it's going to be Billingham who'll set the pace for this first heat. So as I said, they came in with a very slow time, 4:53.50. They're going to be a mile in front of that in terms of their finish time here. They're up now by about 10 metres as we come into the final touch. Let's see what their time's going to be. 4:03.60. Well, you can't complain of a 50-second improvement on your entry time. It's getting tighter for second, but Geary hold off Glenrothes. 4:12.32 against 4:12.99. Swim IT coming in for 4th, ahead of the Cooper B team. 4:17 and 4:20 respectively for those 2 teams. Inverclyde in 4:25. So 4:03.60 time for heat number 2, our last race, unless there's a swim off.
I think I just heard there might be the swim off. Yeah, I think there is going to be a swim off, Duncan. So
we'll find out what that's all about.
Oh, might have 2 swim offs.
Whoa, exciting stuff.
200 freestyle and 50 metres butterfly swim off. So there we go.
Excellent. You can't beat a good swim off.
You can't. Well,
so, yes.
Another relay heat before those swim offs, of course. And the teams are lining up for this one again. Another mixture of genders that are going here. 2 female swimmers going on the first leg for 2 of the teams, and all the rest are male swimmers leading off their team. So we have first going in lane 0, Cooper going in lane number 1, University of Aberdeen Performance in 2. We have Ren 96 in lane number 3, South Ayrshire in 4, Elgin in 5, and we know not to discount them, Geary in 6, Glenrothes in 7, Inverclyde in 8, and Shetland go in lane number 9. So, Shetland and Glenrothes go with the female swimmers first. The rest are going with the male swimmers. Fastest entry times on that, South Ayrshire and Elgin under the 4-minute mark, but excellent time posted in the first heat from Billingham, 4:03.60. That is going to be the immediate target for these teams. Of course, one more heat to come. We swum in the final session tonight, so it's one and only chance for these swimmers to post a time. That'll be what determines their position in this relay event. First to the wall, it is Elgin. That good start, Jacob Wood leading the Elgin team through on that opening 50. And just challenging, maybe Ren 96 in second place. Tom Jeffords in second position, Ren 96 being challenged now by Lucas Johnson in the second in lane number 2, just 1 lane up. It looks like Ren 96 going to be first into the wall. Again, have we got someone? I think Ren 96, no, Aberdeen Performance maybe going with a male swimmer. And a number of female swimmers in as well, but a good start for the Geary team in lane number 6. They go into the lead with their second male swimmer, James Body, on that second line.
Yeah, in the distinctive yellow cap there, really pushing it on, but well, keep your eyes on lane 3 there. Ren gone with Gabriella Lessing, and she's going very nicely against the men here. Beside her, Dan Hall for University of Aberdeen's junior team. In lane 4 is South Ayrshire with Ailey Robertson, so another woman on the second leg there for South Ayrshire. But Geary have used their 2 men, but they've got a good margin now that they're giving to the women to try and protect in the second half of this race. So first up to try and do that is Catherine Body, 1:53.13 at the halfway mark. It is about 4 seconds faster than the previous heat, but that doesn't mean too much because of different swimming orders. But pushing on now in lane 2 is Madison Cool for the University of Aberdeen junior team. So their first woman, they've got another woman to come on their anchor leg, same as Geary. The swimmers in lanes 3 and 4 will both finish off with a man. So Kaylin Chan in now for Ren 96 and Sophie Steele for South Ayrshire. So their job is to get themselves into position where their final swimmer has a chance to challenge. But it's still Geary leading the way. So good job from Catherine Body to protect that lead so far. And she is going to hand a fairly handsome lead to their anchor swimmer, who will be Ellen Denny. So she has the job to do to protect this lead. Can she do it?
Well, they're all going to be chasing her now. Ellen Denny is going to come under threat. It's a good start from the University of Aberdeen Performance. Final swimmer Jessica Kirkwood now coming alongside Ellen Denny. She is being chased down as well by South Ayrshire. It's Lewis Gibson on the final leg there for South Ayrshire in lane number 4, Ren 96, also with Magnus Morris as well. It's going to be between these 4. It's a fascinating contest here. I think the men just might have the edge over the female swimmers here. It looks like it might be Magnus Morris in lane number 3 who's just taking the lead here for Ren 96. It looked like they have timed this one perfectly here. Coming through in a second position might be Lewis Gibson for the South Ayrshire team, but it is going to be Ren 96 in lane number 3. Who is going to take them home? Magnus Morris will take them in, and it is 3:57.11, faster than the first heat, with South Ayrshire in second and University of Aberdeen Performance just getting ahead of the Geary team. But what a good race there between these 4 teams. I love these mixed relays. Things mix about a little bit in terms of position.
Yeah, so just looking at that South Ayrshire performance, 3:59.37. At the moment, that stands as the fastest junior team. But we do have a Dumfries junior team going in the fastest heat tonight, and there may well be an Aberdeen Dolphin team as well. Let's just check on them. Yes, we do have an Aberdeen Dolphin junior team as well, so that will not get decided until tonight, but certainly South Ayrshire give themselves a chance of a place on the podium with that swim under the 4 minutes. So we have the first of our swim-offs, 200 freestyle. So looking at this, this is for 3rd reserve position for the finals, and of course with withdrawals, this could be important for a second swim. Plus, of course, you get the opportunity for, well, you've got a second swim now, and it's going to be, as you can see, Jonathan Venter of Perth City against Cedar Gullen of Warren de Bars. Both of them 2:01.73 in the heats earlier on. 2 red caps will do battle here. Could be a good one.
Wow, yeah, you would expect so. Absolutely identical times in the qualification. Cedar Gullen entry time of 1:59.66, and well, it's going to be an interesting one, as you said, Duncan. Chance to improve on that time that they set in the qualification heats. Jonathan Venter's entry time just over the 2-minute mark, so a great chance for him to dip under that 2-minute barrier. This head-to-head battle, top of the 2 swimmers furthest away from us, Jonathan Venter from Perth City, and closest to us from Warren de Bars, Cedar Gullen. So again, for a place in that final, and there's been a few withdrawals and a few people do multiple events as well, so some people might just decide to concentrate on other events tonight. So as you said, Duncan, might be a good opportunity for someone to get another swim tonight, even though this is just for a reserve position. But as expected, pretty tight in the early stages.
Yeah, it's very close indeed. Very close indeed then between the 2 of them. First through the turn was Jonathan Venter, but it looks like Cedar Gullen maybe just going past him now as we come up to the 100. In fact, he's definitely gone past him. Let's see whether he can continue to lead them through. There's not too much in it at the turn. 59.04 for Cedar, 59.20 for Jonathan. I have once in my commentating career seen a dead heat in a swim-off. I'm waiting for it to happen again.
Well, yeah, it has happened, yeah. I think I'm the same once. It probably might be the same one, actually. Possibly.
It was a 50 breaststroke, I remember that. And Katie Goodburn was one of the swimmers. I can't remember who the other one was. But,
well, it doesn't look like we're going to get a tie this time. Not at the moment, anyway, because Cedar Gullen has gone away from Jonathan Venter and opened up that 2.5 gap here. But can Jonathan Venter make a little bit of a comeback in the closing stages here? Cedar Gullen is going to be holding on. I think Jonathan Venter absolutely giving everything here in the closing stages, but Cedar Gullen has the edge. Venter coming back now, but I think he's left it just a little bit too late, because Cedar Gullen is going to be into the wall and claim that reserve position in 2:01.11, pretty close to what they did earlier. Just a little bit faster, I think, for both of them.
yeah, both of them faster, just 3/10 between the 2 of them. So it was 2:01.73 earlier on, 2:01.11. Of course, the frustrating thing is 2:01.11 would have got him into the P final. But, now he's just got to wait, but he is third reserve, and Jonathan will be fourth reserve, so they'll have to wait and see if they get the chance. So now we move to our second swim-off, which is men's 50 butterfly. And this one is also for third reserve. Josh Press and Ryan Ferguson both did 26:07 in the heats. So will they go under the 26? You'd probably put money on it, actually, certainly for whoever wins it.
Yeah, that's what happens in these swim-offs. Although the 50 fly wasn't too long ago, so the 200 freestyle seems a little bit longer.
Yeah, so it'll be, as I said, Josh Press, Stirling University, and Ryan Ferguson of Edinburgh University. So added little dimension there of the two university teams, two probably strongest performance teams in Scotland at the moment. It'll be the Stirling man in lane 5, the Edinburgh man in lane 4. Oh, I'm hearing there might be a third swim-off. We are spoiled here in Tollcross.
They don't want us to get lunch, I don't think. They want us to keep us here. Oh, there's another swim-off after that.
Yeah, still waiting for a tie in the swim-off so we can have another swim-off. Straight back in, no messing. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Back-to-back 50 flies, a bit like skins.
Well, yeah, that's it. We
anyway,
had a swim off in the 800 freestyle at one. Oh, no, dead heat, wasn't it? They didn't swim it off. Remember for the final.
In the Commonwealth Games,
Commonwealth
they
Games,
did.
yeah.
They did have a swim off, yeah.
For the 800.
In the 800 freestyle, yeah. How cruel is that? So we're just having to wait because they have to reset the pool to start at the other end of this one. So just be a little bit patient for this. And the swimmers just biding their time, trying to keep themselves nice and relaxed and focused.
So what the time that they did? 26:07.
It was
26:07. So Ryan Ferguson's entry time was 26:06. So
what was Josh's
Josh,
time?
25:84.
Okay, so on paper you think maybe Josh has a slight advantage. So it doesn't always work like that, though.
Yeah. You would think so. You would think so. I'm sure Ryan, if that is a PB, 26. A couple of swims just in the 26:0. He'd love to just dip under that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, 25 sounds so much better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's go, boys. Let's see if we can do this. So again, as I said, it's for separating third and fourth reserves. We did have a good number of withdrawals yesterday, and the expectation probably is that there will be more for tonight. So this, as we saw in the 200 freestyle, could be important. Ryan Ferguson just getting the faster reaction time in lane 4, but that doesn't mean too much as they come out of the dive side by side. This is going to be a tight one, I think. In lane 5, Josh Press, I think maybe just has the edge, but we're talking fine margins here, but he's starting to open it up now, and it is going to be the Stirling man taking it in the end pretty comfortably. He gets under the 26, 25.91 for him. So he takes the win. He takes third reserve spot. Ryan Ferguson is just behind him.
Yeah, good swim there from Josh, 25.9, very close to his entry time. And there we have another swim off now for the event that we saw just a short time ago, the 50 metres butterfly. Marie Wood and Kiana Kurtzak going in for this third of the three swim-offs. Well, 3 so far. We haven't heard if there's going to be any more after this one. But Marie Wood and Kiana Kurtzak. Well, I'm just looking at our results here. Entry time just under the 30 second, or the swim time just under the 30 seconds for Kiana Kurtzak.
29.94, so the two of them. again, third reserve.
That's a trend, yeah. Well, Marie Wood is furthest away from us, Kiana Kurtzer, and 0.33 reaction there for Marie Wood. Very swift indeed, Kiana Kurtzer, with that red cap now, has got it all to do. In lane number 5, can she pull back? She is pulling back, you know, coming back in the closing stages with absolutely every stroke. Kiana Kurtzer pulling back on Marie Wood, and she might just take it, Kiana Kurtzer. She does in 29.71. Marie Wood in second. She was faster than she went this morning, only by 1/100, but Kiana Kurtzer improving her time by a couple of tenths, and she will take that swim off. Big smile on the face of Kiana Kurtzer to take that one.
So unless there is another swim off that we don't know about, that I think will bring things to a close for what has been an exciting morning swimming. We've seen some great racing. Very privileged to have those 3 swim offs. Terrific stuff. You can see coverage for this afternoon starts at 1:10, so grab some lunch and we'll see you back for that. Look forward to that. But for now, from Paul Noble and myself, Duncan McKinnell, we'll wish you a very good day. See you later.